Hello and welcome to another stream. We have the BSL Gosuleague round of 16 for you today. And my name is Ray, and with me here is my co-caster Snipe. Welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here again. Excited to do some more games. Looking forward to some round of 16 action here.
Yes, and we will have some great games, at least for 1/3 of you, because we have an all Protoss group today. And of course, before we go into the games, we will take a look at our players here. So let's do that. Okay, so here you can see the round of 16 of the BSL Gosuleague. Group B was already casted, so don't get confused by this live here. Group B was already casted on Tuesday by Aggie. And today we will have Group A for you with a full Protoss lineup here. 4 Protoss in one group. So yeah, it will be fun.
Yeah, we'll really get to divulge into this PvP matchup here. Talk about some little things. I mean, PvP is definitely an interesting matchup. You can get, build order advantages, disadvantages, even build order wins and losses. So we'll have to see if some of that comes into play here today.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at how the players did in the ladder stage. So to just see their MMR, see their placement, and yeah, see how they got here. So the first player is Venom. So we have him here in spot 50 with 2100 MMR. Not a lot of games, but still good win rate. So he definitely could go higher if he played a few more games, I would say. So yeah, definitely a strong Protoss here. The next player is Stormtoss. We have seen him in the round of 32 already, and he is a bit higher and also very good stats. So he was one of the higher players in the Gosuleague so far, with 2178 here. Then the next player is Quark, using the barcode nick, just 2 spots below him here at 2150 points. Also good stats. I mean, I'm saying it every time, but pretty much everyone has good stats in this round here in the Gosuleague. And our last player is NBA from Chile, and he is using the account Adva on rank 55 here, 2100. So we have 2 players around 2100 here. We have 2 players a bit higher, above 2150. But overall, I think, especially with the matchup being PvP, we should have pretty good and balanced games here.
Yeah, I would agree. It may just come down to the builds, the maps, and who's better at what in this matchup. So
yeah, maybe also preparation. Maybe some people are just thinking, yeah, it's PvP, I can just freestyle that as always. Or some people maybe have specific strategies prepared on certain maps. For example, Benzene is a map that we have in the starting game for the first 2 series, and that's a 2-player map. So we can see some proxies, we can see some very built specifically for that map, for example. We'll see.
Yeah, and definitely longer rush distance too. So maybe something like a 12 next could come out.
Yeah, that is also true. And that makes the proxy even stronger. We'll see.
That is true.
Okay. Yeah, so the first game, as you can see here, will be Venom versus Stormtoss, and then we'll see Quark versus NBA. Okay, and with that, I think everything is being said, so we can jump into the game here. Game is already loaded up, overlay is prepared, and with that, enjoy the games. Okay, and here we go. So, in the top right of Benzene, we have our green Protoss from Sweden. It is Stormtoss.
And then in the bottom left, we have our Polish Protoss, the navy blue Venom.
Yeah, so yeah, as you already said, Benzene has a long rush distance that definitely makes some economy builds stronger, but we could also see some very aggressive strategies. But remember, every game here is a best of 3. So in the round of 32, we still had the first series being best of 1s. Here in the round of 16, we have best of 3s throughout the whole group.
All right, so this will be a best of 3, not just a best of 1. So maybe you can
correct.
take a little bit of a risk in some game too.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you have a couple other games to fall back on if it doesn't go as planned. But it doesn't look like we're going to have at least an early proxy coming out of either player, as both players first pylon into the main. But we will see shortly if someone wants to maybe go for a 12 next. Looks like that is not going to be the case as they both throw down that first gateway on 10 supply there.
Yeah. We have a little comment here by Quark in the chat. So one of the players of this group is here in the chat. Big fan of Stormtoss and his 100 APM play. He is sitting at 60 APM only so far. And yeah, that's really interesting because Quark and Stormtoss are very known for their very low APM. So that's interesting here.
Hey, nothing wrong with having lower APM, right? I think we both have lower APM compared to most people at our levels, so there you go.
Okay.
Let's see, both players did go for a gas. So, and looks like the Cyber Core has been started, so mirrored build so far. The real time we're going to look for a divergence here is once that probe gets scared out of the main bases here. So once that first Dragoon is out and is able to get the probe out of the base, we're going to kind of see what path each player wants to take, what kind of tech they want to go for, or if they want to power up or take a Nexus or anything. But it is crucial to get that probe out of there before you start your additional tech, just so you don't give your opponent any kind of advantage on what your plan is for this game.
Yes, and we have the very first difference here in the build. So we see Stormtoss getting that initial Zealot. Usually it's a bit safety against 2-gate rush, for example, but on this map, probably with a long rush distance, not really common. But it's also helping against the mana pylon, and that is, I think, always a good idea. But we can see Venom, he did skip the Zealot, and he didn't really take any damage from that, from the probe, from the mana pylon or anything. So yeah, that probably gives him a very, very, very slight advantage here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wasn't it Stormtoss who we casted before in all of his PvPs skipped the first Zealot and went Dragoon first? I feel like it was.
Could be. I'm not sure anymore.
But we do see him going Zealot here. All right, so now that the probe has been killed on both sides, we're going to see what kind of additional tech these players want to go for. And we already see Stormtoss is looking like maybe DTs, maybe Speed Zealots. He's going for that Citadel here. And on the other side, Venom is going for a Robo, so probably quick obs to counter something like Fast DT, which looks like Stormtoss is probably going for.
Yeah, and we also have like a 2 probe difference already, so I would really put Venom ahead, especially if Stormtoss really goes for that fast DT and Venom goes for that Observer, then Venom should be in a very nice position here, especially with probe advantage as well.
Yeah, it looks like we are getting a second gateway coming out of Stormtoss, so he's going to go for that 2-gate DT. I'm going to get a couple of DTs out here as quickly as possible, or almost as quickly as possible. He did get Dragoon range. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like we have a Nexus here coming down from Venom, so he's doing Gate Robo Expand. As long as he's able to see and deflect these DTs, he should be okay. Having that Forge come down for Stormtoss himself now, just because he doesn't want to die to his opponent going TT, so he's like, okay, I'm going to need some sort of detection in case my opponent is also going for Dark Templar.
Yeah, and this is really great for Venom. So if you go for that Observer and the opponent is going for DTs, he doesn't really have a lot of units. He's just trying to kill you with the DT or get a lot of damage done. So you don't really need a lot of units, so you can actually just stay on one gate and expand, and that's exactly what he did. So that's really the ideal build here for Venom against the DT opening. And yeah, with that, he should really be far ahead in the economy here.
Yeah, there is still a risk now. Like if he sends this observer out across the map and misses the DTs coming across the map, and you know we can see he's building a Reaver after this. So if he sends this observer out and does not catch those DTs, he could still take a.
Oh, looks like Snipe is gone here. Yeah, okay, so yeah, sadly we have some problems here. Snipe already mentioned that earlier, that Battle.net is throwing him out, but he's also gone on Discord, so I'm a bit confused here, but I hope we'll get him back very soon. Yeah, we'll just continue the game for now and see if he comes back. Yeah, okay, so. Oh wow, I cannot even drop. Ah, okay, now it works. Okay, yeah, so as mentioned, this is really the perfect build against what Stormtoss is doing, but Snipe just said if he sends out the Observer and misses CDT, that can be very dangerous. So you always want to send the Observer not just straight to the opponent base, but you want to fly it on the path that a ground unit would take, a DT would take if it comes to your base. So you always want to go through this ground path towards the opponent base, so you really don't miss any DTs. And I think Stormtoss even went around this bottom way, so he actually tried to dodge that observer moving on the direct ground path, but Venom really, it's like he's map hacking, like he's doing the perfect thing. He's going for 1-gate observers into fast expansion and stays here with the observer. Like it can't be better than that, really. This is an incredible perfect counter against what Stormtoss is doing. But that does not mean that Stormtoss is out here. You can still always come back, especially with storms. We can see some nice storm drops. We can just have some positioning errors by Venom, maybe that he has all units clumped and get stormed. Stuff like that can always happen. And it looks like we have Snipe back here.
Okay, I was gonna say, can you still hear me or no? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still in the game. Like I didn't get disconnected or anything. I've been having this problem. I don't know what it is. Blizzard keeps doing this. I'm still actually in a game. I might be in a different game than you, but I think we're at the same time still, or roughly. Like.
Yeah, I saw that before when some player drops, but he's still in the replay. It's not synced up anymore, so we are at like different replays now. But if we don't change the speed or so, then it should work. So just to compare the time, let's just compare it. I'm at 7:45 now.
I'm at 7:47, so we're like 2 seconds off.
Yeah, okay,
which is fine. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what happens. Blizzard keeps doing this to me for some reason, but yeah. I posted on the forums, no reply in 3 days, so I don't know what to do. But anyway, looking at this game, it does look like Venom is sending out a Reaver of his own here, wanting to try and get some harassment done. Possibly going towards that natural, and this map does have that little bit of high ground above the natural, which can make it a little bit easier for storm drops, maybe dropping up there. But we can see Stormtoss is already scouting for something like this by having a pylon up there, as is Venom, which is a good thing to do. I mean, you definitely want to do that on this map, just to have that little bit extra high ground vision and to see if anyone tries to kill your generators and sneak in the back way.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Here comes the shuttle now, or maybe it's stopping. But,
yeah.
Okay, there it goes. See if he gets anything done with this.
Okay, I don't think... Oh, he has speed, so he probably just waited for speed here. But now he has it. And, I mean, there are only 2 goons. Oh, but nice storm, actually. Oh, the goons in the main are not moving. And this could be a good shot. Let's see. Ooh. Oh my god, wow. That was an incredible shot. That must be like 12 probes or so. Wow. You can see the probe difference. It's 20 probes. I mean, it was like 6 probes already before, but now it's 20, and that is a big deal in a mirror matchup, especially.
Yeah, this gives a really big advantage, I'd say, to Venom now. He's going to have way better economy here for a little while. Stormtoss is going to have to spend a bunch of money replacing those probes as well. We can already see like Venom is able to afford these additional gateways now, going up to it's like 5-6 gateways, whereas Stormtoss is still stuck here on 4. And you know, in a couple of minutes, the army of Venom's just going to be so much larger. So what can Stormtoss do? He's going to have to be able to get his own counter harassment done, and a lot of it, and still have to defend like the attack coming out from Venom here shortly.
Yeah, the only real thing that Stormtoss has going for him is the better tech, I would say, with Storm. But that is almost gone anyways. Venom already has his Templar Archive. I'm not sure if Storm is done. I don't think so, because I don't see any High Templars. The first one just popped out. Yeah, and with that, I don't think how Stormtoss can be aggressive here. But he has a shuttle, so maybe a couple Storm drops can even out the worker difference, and he can get back into the game. But he really has to do something. He can't just make units and hope that he wins the fight later, because Venom should just have way more.
Yeah, well, we can see, I mean, Venom's 30 supply ahead here, and only about 10 of that probe. So, we'll see. I mean, if you get a couple of good storms and take a really good engagement high ground or something, but I don't think that's going to happen here. Like, you can just see, just looking at the two armies, Venom's is way bigger here. I hear DTs. Oh, there's a DT drop in the main of Stormtoss as well. Killing off that cannon. Looks like he's going to be picking off some probes now here as well.
Oh!
Just further increasing his lead. Ouch.
Yeah, when you have that speed shuttle, you don't care about one cannon. You just fly on top of the cannon, you drop out the 2 DTs, and they easily kill one cannon. It's insane. So Venom already ahead, but still doing more and more damage. He still has those 2 High Templars in the shuttle, ready for a storm. He will probably fly in very soon into the natural. I'm not sure why he is not doing it already, but I think now, okay, now he's moving. He's moving in the wrong direction here, but yeah, I mean, he is not the one who needs to do damage. It's Stormtoss actually, but this is just getting worse and worse for Stormtoss here.
Yeah, I mean, we can see Stormtoss does have his own shuttle kind of here at the bottom of the map, but I think he's forgotten it or something. It's been down there for quite a while and hasn't moved to go storm anything or look to get any harassment done. We do have him moving around the map a little bit with his army, maybe trying to hope to get a favorable engage, catching Venom going across the bridges or something. Like, if you can have a good concave outside of the bridge, it really bungles up your opponent's units, so you can get a lot of extra damage on there. But I just think even if Venom did that and attacked through these bridges, he just has so much more that I'm not sure Stormtoss would be able to defend it either. Anyway.
Yeah, no way. His army is so much bigger. Oh, Storm Drop.
More Storm Drop, yeah.
4 kills here on this one, and 5, 6. We have one more. Okay, 7. Yeah, but decent. I mean, he doesn't really need to do more. It's totally fine. He's now losing the shuttle, but
wow.
Oh wow, Storm Drop. That
yeah,
was a nice Storm Drop. Wow, that actually killed like 15 probes at least. The worker difference is not that big anymore.
Yeah, he needs a few moves like that just to have a chance. I mean, he's getting a lot of damage done here with these storms, and a lot of Venom's army isn't in this fight yet. So he's getting a lot of extra free kills here. I still don't think it's going to be enough, but that's kind of his best he could have hoped for there. But with these reinforcing zealots, he's just going to destroy this army of Stormtoss, and I feel like he could just go across the map and end it. And actually, Stormtoss feels the same way as he GG's right now, and Venom takes game number 1.
Yeah, there was really no hope for Stormtoss. He can't just attack into Venom, being so far behind, and hope for a win there. There were still 2 Reavers, there was Storm out. There's no way that Venom will actually lose the fight being in a defensive position. So, yeah, nice job by Venom. I mean, he had the perfect build against what Stormtoss was doing. And we also had a little comment by himself in the chat, so it looks like it was not a coincidence, but he saw a probe moving in position to make a building when his probe left his main. So it looks like he expected the citadel because of that, because there was a probe, yeah, trying to make a building as soon as his scout probably left. So That's the thought process here by Venom, so good job.
Very nice catch. It's cruel to harass a player with 100 APM. I agree.
That has nothing to do with APM. Oh, the esports fund logo is covering the energy bar of the Templar. Oh, really? Okay, I will try to fix that. The next game is loaded, so you can join.
I'm getting invalid password when trying to join. Try remaking.
These problems here. Okay, I try again. The one after the game name.
Alright, worked that time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess if I disconnect again, probably just drop me right away, and it seems like the replays will probably still be fine.
Yeah,
I imagine this will happen at least a couple more times in the cast.
Initially, I couldn't even drop you after the 45 seconds. Okay. I thought I have to leave, but then after 5 seconds it worked.
Okay, yeah, no, I've played. Sorry, I was just gonna say I played games like that too, and sometimes it comes back after like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm back in the game. But it's like, really, I don't know what was this doing to me. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, Go ahead. Let's introduce the players.
Yes, the game is loaded. So the map is Eclipse here. So that is the pick of our player in the bottom left corner. Losing the last game here, it is Stormtoss.
All right. And one game away from going to the winner's match is our Navy Blue Protoss, Venom. So another 2-player map definitely opens up the opportunity for some kind of a cheese. Doesn't look like anyone's going to proxy any early gateways here, as both of their first pylons are coming down in their main again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so everything normal. I'm trying to figure out like how the sponsor logo is blocking the energy bar of the Templar, but I see it. Yeah, it's definitely the case. So let me just adjust that here really quickly. So like this should be fine. Okay, I think with that, everything is okay and nothing should be blocked. Okay, so yeah, still pretty much the same build, gateway into gas. Both players are scouting at the same time, meeting in the middle here almost, and we will have to wait until the probe, the scouting probe leaves the base again or gets killed. And the core is coming. So will we see a Zealot here? Let's see if Stormtoss is really the player that never gets a Zealot. If you know that as his opponent, I would just go for like a Zealot rush with the mana pylon. But yeah, this time he's getting the Zealot, so doesn't look like he's always doing it, always skipping it. So Snipe, are you still here? Okay, looks like we lost Snipe again. Yeah, kinda unfortunate. But what can we do? We'll just keep going here. Okay, there you go. You're back, Snipe. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. You were gone for me for like last minute.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you for like a minute either. And then Discord made a weird noise, so... Now we're back.
Yeah, so far nothing really happened. Probes are still scouting. Both players did get a Zealot here, and the first goon for both players is almost out. So the scouting will end here, and we'll see the tag for both of the players.
Yes. So what do they want to go for? So far we just have that third pylon coming down. No additional gateways or tech coming out of either player at the moment.
And we really saw Venom not leaving the base, but really doing another round and almost another round through the base to really get that scouting formation. And he did not see anything because Stormtoss did not start anything. But that means it can't be like a super fast CT, because that Citadel should already be started when the probe was already in the base. So he knows by staying in the base with the probe, he's sacrificing the probe, but he's at least delaying the attacks that Stormtoss wanted to do here. And now he's actually choosing his strategy with the 2 gates.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we just, excuse me, might have a build order win here. We got a fast Nexus coming out of Venom, and we got 3 gateways coming out of Stormtoss. So he's going to have a lot of Dragoons going across the map, and I don't see how Venom is supposed to be able to defend this. Like, he's just adding a second gateway himself, but he's going to be on, 1 to 2 Dragoon production against 3 Dragoon production. I think he's probably just going to die here.
Yeah, that could be the case. So he's doing the fast Nexus into 3 gates. So this is a build that completely dies to DTs, but is usually pretty good against most other builds. But the straight up fast 3 gate without robotics, so which also dies against DTs, could actually beat it. But it will be close. If Venom abuses the high ground and has good micro, he can hold it, I think. Really depends on micro a lot here.
Yeah, we'll have to see, like you said. He's going to have his own 3 gateways, so if Stormtoss can't kill him quickly, then they're going to be on the same production, but Venom is going to have that gateway. So we'll see. It looks like Micro's pretty good. He's got a lot of extra Dragoons here. Is Venom going to have enough to hold now? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. He pretty much traded his units, but trading is not enough in this case, because Stormtoss produced out of 3 gates for much earlier, so he has a goon advantage. If you're just trading the same number of goons, you will not win the game, because Stormtoss will just have more, and you can see it here. But nice probe drill, but the goon is already dead, and the next one is going down, and I think with that, the game is pretty much over. Yeah, now he's just camping the gateways, and there's no hope.
He does pick off those 2 really low Dragoons, but yeah. Knowing this is pretty much over, he just leaves the game. 1-1.
1-1. So we have one PvP really with Venom being far ahead in the build order matchup, and in the next game we have Stormtoss getting the way better end of the build order matchup. So yeah, 2 games pretty much decided by the build order here. So that's very interesting. We'll see what they do in the next game. Some comments in the chat here, no GG. Yeah, we did not see any GG, but I always want to mention in that case that games should usually be played on top versus bottom game mode. And in that game mode, if you just press enter and you type GG, it gets sent to your allies, I think. So in that case, it will not show up on the replay if the other person is submitting the replay. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be no GG every time you don't see a GG. There could be that case that he just forgot to send to everyone.
And that does happen.
Yeah, then again, people want BM.
They gotta start that BM now. Alright, well, I switched over to my phone's internet. We'll see if this does any better.
I don't have the data volume for that on my phone.
Well, StarCraft doesn't actually take very much data at all. It barely takes any, I can tell you that. But I don't know how much Discord voice chat is going to take up. I assume not very much as well. But the stream would take up a lot, so I actually had to close the stream. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and the game is ready. Overlay is prepared, so let's jump into this final game of the first series, Venom versus Stormtoss, on Polypoid, it looks like. So on the bottom right, we have our Swedish brothers, Stormtoss.
Looks like he changed his color up. He was green the first 2 games, so after that loss, maybe he wanted to change colors here, see if that helps him. But bottom left, we have navy blue Protoss again, Venom.
Yeah, some lags here, but Yeah,
Try that.
should be fine. Okay, so with 2 build order, well, I don't want to say build order wins, but the build orders were really a big factor in those previous 2 games. I'm really curious if the players really go for such weird strategies again. We saw really risky strategies, the fast DTs, the 3 gateway without robotics that would instantly die to DTs. So really risky strategies here. Let's see if they play a bit more conservative this time.
Yeah, if you're 1-1 going into game 3, do or die time for the winner's match anyway. You're not going to be eliminated if you lose. What do you go for? Do you plan on something a little bit more safe, a little more standard, maybe something like 2-gate Reaver expand or something? I feel like that's what I would maybe want to go for here, but knowing that my opponent might try something tricky like DTs or 3-gate Goon or whatever else, but we'll have to see. Stormtoss will get that first scout off, whereas Venom is taking an interesting scouting path, trying to scout maybe for some proxies and taking a long way around, not actually scouting any of the bases yet.
Yeah, kinda unfortunate. I think he wanted to cross scout, but then he saw the probe of Stormtoss arriving in his base very early, so he assumes that it's close position and not cross position. So then it's a 50-50 chance and he's choosing the wrong close position. So in the end, this is probably one of the most ineffective scouting paths, but kinda unlucky here. So maybe that means he will not get into Stormtoss's base at all, because there is a unit out already with the Zealot here, and he could block the ramp. This is a ramp that is, that can be blocked by just a single Zealot, but he's moving out here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. Like, another good thing about going Zealot first in this case is you can sometimes get that ramp block and deny any scouting, which gives you the opportunity to go for something like faster DTs or whatever, because you can skip that Dragoon range. So looks like he will actually block this ramp. So we'll have to see what he wants to go for now, knowing that Venom is going to have to play a little bit blind here, not know if he scouted or started Dragoon range or not.
Yeah, there are little interesting mind games when one player cannot scout the other player, because in Stormtoss's case, not being scouted, he could just go like, yeah, he's not scouting me, I can just go super fast DTs. But then the other player can think about that as well. Oh, I'm not scouting him. He could go super fast DTs, and then he counters with fast observer, for example. These little mind games can happen, but so far we don't see any super specific strategies here. No all-ins.
Yeah, and that can play on your opponent too. So Venom, in his point of view, he's like, okay, I got to play a little bit safer, most likely, right? He's got to think, okay, if he's going DTs, I want to get my obs out. Whereas Stormtoss had that scouting information, and he's like, okay, I know what he's doing. I know what he's up to. He doesn't know his additional tech. He doesn't know that this is Robo coming out from Venom, but he could think, okay, he thinks that I might be going DT, so he's probably going to go Robo and obs and maybe try and cut a corner there. And like the layers of those mind games just keep going deeper and deeper. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, right? And that's PvP. Sometimes you'll just get a win or a loss based on something like that. But so far, neither player going for anything too crazy. It looks like both going for 1-gate Robotech here, not adding that second gateway. So we're probably having a gate Robo expand from both players, and maybe we'll have a little bit longer game here.
Yeah, first time that we really see completely mirrored builds by both players. A very, very safe builds as well. This is pretty much my go-to builds when I want to play safe on the ladder in PvP as well. Also, Stormtoss here after the robotics getting the observatory, so we'll probably get that observer out, and then we'll go to Reaver for the additional defense. So super safe here. Meanwhile, we have pretty much the same build for Venom. So it's exactly the same. Worker counts are the same. Supply is the same. Everything is the same.
Yeah, I like this little probe here from Stormtoss, though, behind the mineral line. He will see it now, but he can just see when the Nexus is being taken, or looks like it's going to be taken. So now he knows, okay, kind of what he's up against. Okay, he sees the 4-5 Dragoons out here. He saw the Nexus going down, or looking like he was going down, so he can feel pretty safe to take his own Nexus right away here as well.
Yeah, there's really no option to punish this expansion because Stormtoss also went for 1 gateway into Observer, so yeah, the only thing he can do is just take his own expansion super quickly. And with that, we are going into a completely mirrored mid game here for the first time.
Yeah, so we might see a late game PvP coming out here. I mean, there's obviously still things that can happen. Like someone could fly in with their Reaver, get a bunch of probe kills, or someone could fly in with their Reaver and then not have enough defense at home and then get killed. So we'll have to see what these players want to go for. Are they just going to sit back, macro up, or does someone want to get a little bit maybe aggressive or try and, do a little bit of a punish on some probes here with some Reaver harass?
Yeah, first Reaver out for Venom, so obviously both players are going for those Reavers, but so far we don't see any shuttle speed, so far it looks like it's more of a defensive Reaver for both players, but that could change. Okay, actually first little difference, Venom going for the shuttle, meanwhile Stormtoss going for the second Reaver, so this probably doesn't play a role here. But that could mean that Venom will go for a little drop attempt first.
Yeah, he'll certainly have the option, excuse me, to do that ahead of his opponent if he wants to. But we do have the obs flying in for Stormtoss, seeing that shuttle just as it comes out. So he should be aware that, okay, this is a possibility now. Maybe put his Dragoons in position to intercept a potential drop.
Yeah. And Venom also spotted that observer and killed it. So now he is in the observer advantage. And this doesn't really seem super important maybe, but you have to think about people really want to use their robotics for the shuttles and the Reavers so far. And if you don't have an observer, you really want to get an observer. So that delays the shuttle a bit here for Stormtoss. I still don't think it plays a role here because it looks like both players are really sitting super defensively. But in some cases, in some games, it can play a role to lose that observer.
Yeah. Well, we can see Stormtoss has moved some Dragoons into position to protect his Natural from being shuttle dropped. But we do see Venom's shuttle is above his base. Looks like it wants to fly into the main here momentarily. And there's not really any Dragoons in position for this. He does have these pylons along the outside of his base, which I really like. It, give him advanced warning, scout for drops like this. But he doesn't have any Dragoons to intercept it, so the shuttle can still definitely get in and do some damage if he wants. It looks like he's waiting for shuttle speed, as that's just about to finish up.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. I mean, Stormtoss scouted the shuttle, he scouted the Reavers. So really interesting that he doesn't have any goons.
Is he going to scout
position.
it? Yeah. He may have just scouted it again, flying in with that probe.
He's not
no reaction, though. Yeah,
no, he
so I think
did
he
not
must
see
have
it.
missed it.
Uh-oh. 46 probes so far. And it's a dot. Okay, 3 kills here on that Reaver and another one. No.
Oh.
Okay. Only 3 kills. Not too bad for Stormtoss. So there was a very late reaction by Stormtoss, but in the end, trading 3 probes against a shuttle, or for a shuttle, a Reaver and a Zealot is a pretty good trade, I would say.
Yeah, and the cost of those Scarabs even. Not that that's a lot, but it's something to consider. And now it looks like Stormtoss wants to get aggressive himself and see if he can't punish this. But I don't think he's going to be able to with Venom having 2 Reavers in the high ground. Although, okay, he's moving his Reavers out. He's going to go for some kind of a flank here.
Ooh.
And I don't think Stormtoss is going to necessarily have enough. We'll have to see how the control is here.
Oh, trying to snipe the shuttle is he's... Oh no, oh no, oh no. There was still 1 Reaver inside.
Yeah, he does get 1 shuttle Reaver. Oh, yeah. If he keeps pushing forward and loses this army, that is not going to go well for him. Like, this could end. We do have a shuttle now out for Venom, so he's going to be able to micro his own 2 Reavers pretty well.
Oh, shuttle getting focused. The one group is not there in the fight, but I still think with the high ground here, this is an easy fight for Venom. And I think pushing up this high ground was actually a big mistake for Stormtoss, and we can see how much units are left. There's 1 Reaver in the middle, not in a defensive position without the shuttle, so this one is probably getting picked off as well, and with the supply difference we already have, I think this could seal the deal here.
Yeah, there's just, excuse me, way too much left here for Venom. It looks like he's just going to run over Stormtoss here, and he is going to take this game. GG is called.
GG.
And 2-1 for Venom, so he goes into the winner's bracket. Well, Storm Toss, not eliminated, gets to fight it out in the loser's bracket.
Exactly. So, that was the first series, yeah. We have, or we had a host here, or a raid by Oya. Thanks, Oya, for that. So that means we have a lot more viewers on the stream now. So for anyone who is not sure what's going on here, this is the BSL Gosuleague with the round of 16 Group A, and you can see the players right here. So we have 4 Protoss, Venom, Stormtoss, the 2 players we just saw, with Venom taking it 2-1 against Stormtoss, and then we have Quark and NBA fighting it out in the next series. And that series is being loaded any second here. Okay, there we go. Just preparing the overlay, and then we can jump into it. So again, all series today are best of 3s. So that usually makes it a bit less volatile. The better player is often winning, but then again, it is a PvP in every series. So yeah, take away what you want from that. And the game is loaded now, so let's jump into it. Okay, so in the bottom left corner here of the map, I'm pretty sure it should be Benzene for the first series in the start map. So
That's what I
I'm a
thought.
bit confused here. Yeah, but looks like it's Polypoid.
Yeah, I mean, Quark is in the chat. Maybe he can confirm or something, but yeah.
Yeah, anyways, and so in the bottom left corner here of Polypoid, we have our British Protoss, famously, or famous for low APM and making Artosis rage. It is Quark.
Yeah. And in the top left, we have our blue Protoss from Chile, NBA, also known as Atwa. Looks like we're having a bit of chat between these two at the beginning. Maybe some mind games going on here, trying to throw each other off. With that early game chatting, maybe make them forget their first gateway or delay it a little bit or something. So.
Oh, I think I have to stop this for a second, because we have an information that this is not the correct series. Are you 100% sure about that? Because that's how the replays are numbered here in my folder. So let me double check that. We really don't want any wrong order of games here.
Yeah.
I know there is a wonderful software for checking things like that.
Made by somebody we both know, maybe?
Maybe. Let me check that really quickly. Okay, so no, this is definitely, yeah, I'm a bit confused here. This looks really weird, but from the replays I see here, this should be the correct game. This should be the correct game. This game was played before the other games of Quark here, so I don't know. I think it's correct. But Quark is saying it's not, so he definitely knows. So yeah, I then sadly the replays are not numbered correctly here. Okay, this is unfortunate. Then I'm not quite sure what the correct replay is. But let me figure that out really quickly.
Yeah, because it should be Benzene. We were both expecting Benzene for the first map.
Yeah, and I don't see any. No, there's no Benzene game for Quark. There's no replay with Benzene for Quark. So there's definitely something wrong with the maps, but there is no Benzene game. Except
maybe you got the wrong
you
replays.
used the wrong nickname. That could be the case. 1 second. No, it's definitely not there. Okay, so then there was really a problem with either with the replay upload by the players, or the staff members here did a little mistake copy pasting some replays for the caster. So I mean, I don't want to go on the official bracket now and download the replays myself, because then I'm getting spoiled by the results. So it would be nice if someone else like Quark is doing it right now. I think he is trying to get the replays from the correct series. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, someone can send them to you, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, send to you on Discord. Thank you, Quark. So give me a little second here. Yeah, so there was some mistake in the chain of replay uploads to copying in the Google Drive for the casters and so on. But I'm downloading the replays now, sent by Quark, so just need to copy them in the folder. 1 second, guys. Sorry for the delay.
I got a question in chat. What did I miss so far? Yeah, just 2-1 PvP. Venom beat Stormtoss 2-1. And then this is our second best of 3. Once we get the replays here.
Yeah, almost done here. Okay, so I do have the replays in the folder now. I'm creating the game right now. And the map is Benzene. So this could be the game. It's created. Snipe is joining right now. And then we have our game of Quark vs NBA.
All right. Glad we got that sorted out.
Okay, so the game is started. The game is loaded. So let's jump into it. So this time we also have another account here for our British Protoss, but in the top right of the map, Benzene, it is the Protoss from Chile, it is NBA.
Alright, and in the bottom left we have our Magenta Protoss playing under the 100 APM account instead. It is Quark.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Quark, for providing the replays here. Also interesting that it looks like you changed your nick throughout the group. But okay, let's now focus on the game here and see what's going on. So again, Benzene is here a map with a pretty long rush distance. So far, no player has sent out a probe for some proxy shenanigans, so we'll see a very normal game for the beginning.
We'll see if either player, like we talked about this earlier on Benzene, if either player wanted to go for maybe a 12 next, just because of that little bit longer rush distance. It can still be difficult to hold. Don't get me wrong, there's things you can do to kind of counter it with like proxy reavers and stuff of your own. But looks like neither player is going to go for that, and they're just going to go ahead and throw down that first gateway. And we'll see where they go from here. I don't really expect anyone to necessarily go 2-gate here, just again because of the longer rush distance. But we'll see. Looks like gas for both players, so completely standard opening here out of both of our Protoss players.
Yes. And we can also see on the 2-player maps, it is fine to send out the scouting probe a bit later, because the only thing you want to accomplish is getting into the base before the goon is out. Usually on this kind of ramp here, you can pass by a zealot, so if there's one zealot on the ramp, you can usually pass through. So the only thing you want to be careful about is to just arrive before the goon is out, and on a 2-player map where you already know where the opponent is, of course, you can send out the probe a bit later and still be in time before the goon.
Yep, and it looks like both players are going for that. We do have a Zealot here being made by NBA. No Zealot looks like yet for Quark, so he's probably just going to be going Dragoon first here, which can be a little bit weaker to things like Matter Pylons. We'll see if NBA wants to go for something like that. It looks like he's just planning on harassing the probes for now.
Yeah, this is always a good thing. So sometimes I think, yeah, okay, this probe will never actually kill a probe in the gas, but it's really good thing to do. You have nothing to do anyways with the probe. You can run around the base one time and then you saw everything, so why not just let it sit near the gas probes and just harass it. The player has to send out one probe at least after some time, or he has to attack it, so he's losing at least a little bit of mining time, of gas mining time, of mineral mining time, whatever. So, and it really costs you nothing, so it's really a good thing to do, I think.
Yep, well, probe is scared out of the base there, and we do have looks like a proxy coming out from Quark. We'll have to see what he wants to proxy there. Looks like he wants to make DTs of some sort, as he's got a Citadel in his main base. But is this Dragoon going to scout this? It looks like it is.
Yeah, that's incredible. So yeah, just good scouting by NBA, I have to say. This can always happen, and especially on a big map like that, you can send out the first goon to check around your base a bit more, because the other goon, even if it comes across the map, it will arrive a bit later because the rush distance is so long. So really good scouting by NBA here.
Yeah, doesn't mean he necessarily knows what that pylon was going to be for, or even if it was going to be a proxy. I think he might assume it was just the way that probe kind of moved before it died, looked like he was about to put down something. But now NBA is just going to send a Zealot over there to try and kill this pylon. But we do have a couple of Dragoons from Quark looking to maybe defend this as well.
Yeah, and this could get really messy very soon, because now he's losing the Zealot, but in return, Quark is out here with the goons, and of course NBA, having the shorter reinforcement path, has just more goons, so now he's picking off the goons here. And we have a little disconnect here with Snipe, but yeah, we'll be fine. We just have to wait for a few seconds here, but this is really... I mean, Quark is losing 2 goons and the pylon, and he only killed 1 Zealot, so I would definitely give the little advantage to NBA here for this first little trades. I heard something, but not sure. Yeah, but let's see how this game develops. I definitely can see something in the natural of Quark here. Yeah, he's putting down a pylon, and I mean, he's keeping NBA busy a bit with the goons, with the pylon. NBA will probably stay here for the pylon. Okay, I guess he's not, so yeah, but anyways, this is buying Quark a bit of time. He's
hello.
Getting the Nexus up. Yes, I can hear you. Welcome back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Doesn't look like that's the case. Yeah, but we'll just continue to follow this game.
I can't hear you at all. This is interesting.
That is interesting, yeah. Yeah, anyways, so we have the 2 gateways for NBA and the Observer. So this is a very conservative build. This doesn't really have a lot of power to be aggressive, and it also gets the Nexus very late. While Quark already has the Nexus up pretty much, and he has DTs on the way. I mean, the DTs are not doing anything here because of the Observer, but this Nexus is up very early. So I'm not sure how this plays out. Will NBA just go for the expansion? It looks like he is. but I don't think he can be aggressive here. He only has like 5 goons, maybe a 6th or 7th one here. But I mean, there are 2 cannons, there's a goon, and the storm is already done when he arrives. So I don't think he can do a lot here.
Yeah, you
Can
can
you
hear
me,
me,
Snipe?
right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you again. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Quick check on the replay time. I'm at 6:37.
Yes, same. Okay.
Okay, good. So yeah, it looks like we have NBA trying to be maybe a bit aggressive, but he's gonna back out, seeing a couple of cannons there and a couple of High Templars, not wanting to lose those Dragoons. He's just gonna go ahead and kill this pylon that was built earlier for that potential proxy while getting his own expansion up. And yeah, we'll have to see where he wants to go from here. Looks like he's gonna tech into a pretty quick citadel from here. Just scouting around with the observer in Quark space, seeing kind of what he can see. You know, he's going to see the 3rd gateway coming up. He's obviously knows that the DT tech, or the Templar tech, I should say, is out. And yeah.
Yeah, it's my go-to strategy as well when I'm like a little bit behind because the opponent went for DTs and has an earlier expansion up and the storm is already done. Usually there's no way you can really attack into him because the storm will just crush you. So what can you do? You could go for Reavers, but then again, Reavers are not the tech you want for the very late game. And against Storm, you still can't push even if you have Reavers. So I think it's always the best to just go to that late game tech yourself and get the Zealot speed and the Storm out as quickly as possible and just try to make probes all the time and just accept that you're slightly behind in economy, but still like leave your game open for the late game and not go all in for aggressive strategy against Storm. This is usually not going to work.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're going to have a DT drop coming out from NBA, hoping to catch Quark without a cannon or any detection. Like, he's not going to have observer. Okay, he is going to have observer out, but will he have it in his main? He's not going to have a cannon in his main necessarily here. So this has potential to do a lot of damage if Quark doesn't, you know, add a cannon soon or move his observer back quickly. This could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, often the players going DTs, they just get the cannons in the front, so they are not dying to DTs in the front, but then later on they forget to get, or they delay their own robotics or their own detection in the main, maybe a cannon or 2. They delay it sometimes, and then you maybe can get a quick win with a DT drop yourself, as a DT defending player initially. But in this case, Quark went for that observer. It's not quite done, so these DTs could definitely do some damage here. Let's see how fast Quark can react.
Well, he's flying his shuttle down towards the bottom of his base. Maybe he'll just happen to see it with the shuttle here. He's losing a bunch of probes already. Okay, he does notice now. He's going to pull those probes. But we already have 7, 8 kills between these 2 DTs. Yeah.
That's a lot of kills. But I mean, Quark had the earlier expansion, so overall, if we take a look at the worker count, it's pretty much the same, yeah?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so despite those DTs doing quite a bit of damage, the worker count is pretty even at the moment. It more or less just helped even out this game. So we'll see, like, Quark still has a slight supply advantage. Meanwhile, we're getting a cannon actually above the natural here for NBA, not wanting to take a storm drop up there for himself. Already has one in the main. Maybe seeing that shuttle flying out too with his own shuttle, singing, okay, this guy's going to storm drop me soon. And actually, you can even see he's got Dragoons kind of in position to try and intercept the shuttle, flying around the bottom and right side of the map there.
Exactly. I mean, that's a very common follow-up to the fast DT build, because you have the Templar Archive so early and you have the Storm as well for the defense. As soon as you get the robotics, you just get a shuttle and try to go for a storm drop. It's like super common. But I mean, yeah, because NBA saw that, Quark is actually not going for it, but now he's just gathering all his units in the middle, and it looks like he wants to be aggressive here.
Yeah, we do have another shuttle coming out from NBA. The Army of Quark just missed seeing that. It was really close. Looks like he's going to go for a potential storm drop here on the natural, but what about this Army of Quark? He's bringing in that shuttle now with it. He's going to try and attack across the bridge. Okay, seeing the army there, he's going to back up. You don't necessarily want to attack across a small bridge into better positioned Protoss army. But here comes the shuttle now flying into the natural.
Yeah, and
It's going to
this
drop
will
off those
do a
2
lot of
templates.
damage. Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
goodness. So many probes killed just there.
Yeah, it was like 18 to 20 probes, I think. And that is a lot. And Quark can't really attack here, I think, across the bridges. He's trying, but I think with the bridges, that's a good advantage for NBA. But there's a storm drop by Quark, but he's not actually moving his
Oh no.
shuttle. Low APM, like, yeah, not enough for doing that storm drop during the fight here. And now he
Yeah.
has a big problem, I think.
Yeah, Quark's definitely in trouble now. Like, he's got to get something done. He's down almost half the probes. He's down 20 probes anyway, and yeah, if he doesn't get anything done, he's probably gonna lose this game. It looks like he's gonna try and attack across the bridge, but I don't know about attacking across the bridge here either.
I think he has a few more units, but not really. The Zealots are coming. He has speed, and he does not have speed. So that's a
Okay,
small
yeah.
advantage he has, but is it enough? I mean, some of the goons are not attacking, they're just running around here. He has to move a bit further, and he is doing it. I think he's slowly winning the fight with additional Zealot reinforcements. 3 more goons coming from the
Yeah.
top, flanking here. So this is actually a good fight, and NBA, he still has a cannon and a few reinforcements, so I think he can hold.
Yeah, we do have a much bigger army there coming out of Quark's winning that fight, but I don't think like you said, I don't think he's going to be able to necessarily kill him here. So the game will go on a little bit, but critically, we do still have Quark down on probes. See how the engage goes. He is picking off a few extra units here. Maybe he can break through a little bit more.
Yeah, Zealot speed still not done for NBA, so those Zealots can be easily microed and should not do a lot of damage here against the goons. But where's the Storm? The Storm, I don't think NBA... yeah, of course he has a research, but he only has 1 Templar here. It could be dangerous. If Quark is microing well against non-speed Zealots, he could win the fight. Zealot speed is soon to be done. Okay, 1 Storm here. Quark very clumped up. 2 Archons. This is the strong army for Quark.
He does get that storm off on a few Dragoons. But being forced back into that natural again, he does have 1 DT in the mix. And I don't see the Observer with this main army. Here, okay, he's going to push it back for now. It looks like NBA will definitely hold, which is going to be good for him having that 10 probe advantage. But behind this, we can see Quark has taken a 3rd base for himself. Just about finished up. So if he can get that up and running and start making probes off 3 Nexuses, he can definitely catch up and in the probe count and get back into this game.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. He went like back with half of the army there and let a few more Zealots die to the goons and cannons. So now I think he has a weaker army. Oh, and he cannot lose his army. I think he has to retreat here and very quickly. I don't think
it was a nice storm.
Yeah, okay, it was a nice storm, yeah. But overall, I think NBA just has more production here. How many gateways do we have? 7 gateways for NBA, 6 gateways for Quark. But I can imagine he didn't really use them all the time because he also went for that Nexus and a few cannons.
Yeah, and it looks like Quark's going to lose most of his army here now. Like I said, might have been a better idea to retreat. He's going to lose a few more units. He doesn't really want to trade out his units at this point until that 3rd base is really up and going. Although saying that, it is mining now, and he has caught up in the probe count. We're actually on even probes now. So
I think overall the fight was not too bad in the end. He got another nice storm off. His Archon did a lot of damage. So, like NBA not really staying out of range of the Archon there with his goons. So in the end, I think the trade was not too bad for Quark, and with the 3rd base, as you said, he will catch up. So the broker count is already the same again, just the supply. He needs maybe a few more gateways, and he's building those. So 2 more gateways coming. If those finish, I think Quark is back in the game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like NBA doesn't have any plans to be aggressive. It looks like he's just planning to use this army to take his own 3rd base. But as we know, this 3rd base is going to be quite behind Quark's, and actually Quark is sending out a probe to maybe take a 4th base here, or even a 5th. He's sending out 2 probes now. 1 in top left, 1 going towards 12 o'clock here.
Yeah, once you're really in this late game where Storm is out, you're having a lot of zealots and so on, and both players are sitting in a defensive position. It's often not really bad to expand a bit quicker and like a bit more aggressively on the map, because is it really a big difference if you have a really big army? If you have 4 more zealots or not, is it really a big deal? But if you have another base, like one base up on your opponent, that is definitely a bigger deal than those 4 zealots in a big fight sometimes.
Yeah, especially like the fights a lot of times will come down to good storms, good positioning, upgrades. Not so much like having a couple extra zealots, but looks like that second probe was sent out just to do some scouting to make sure that NBA didn't have any of these hidden bases or these other bases taken. As we can see, it's scouting the bottom 2 now, and yeah. I hear like a Dragoon attacking something, but I don't see it.
Yeah, it's in the Quark natural. I saw, I heard as well. It was the
Oh, okay,
cannon.
it's the cannon. Yeah. Okay,
uh,
I'm like, what is going on? I can't find it. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
So
you
yeah,
said you mentioned
go
the
ahead.
upgrades, and we have an upgrade advantage for Quark. So especially if you're in the defensive position on Benzene here, it's so hard to attack against Storm as well. And I think Quark is completely back in the game, even if he's still a bit down on supply. Oh, but no, not if he's leaving his defensive position here. He needs to stay here, I think. Otherwise, this could end very badly. What is the
He
upgrade
is,
state here?
yeah. He is roaming around a little bit because he doesn't know exactly where the army of
Oh.
NBA is necessarily, and it looks like it's coming in now. NBA is actually going to get the first couple of storms off, which could be really huge in this fight. I'll
Yeah,
have to see what this
perfect
goes. I mean,
storms.
yeah, Quark does have a pretty good position coming from a couple of angles here, but there's just so many more storms here for
Yeah.
NBA, and Quark is just losing everything. Wow.
Yeah, the storms were insane for NBA, and yeah, Quark let NBA pass through the bridges without contest, and then this supply difference matters again, and especially with those perfect storms. I mean, now like Quark's army is completely crushed, and I think with that, the game is also over. That was a perfect fight for NBA.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to take out top left here, put Quark back down on 2 bases. Well, he's on 3 bases himself, and we can see a bunch more reinforcements coming across the map. I can't see Quark stopping this army now.
Yeah, there's no way. He's trying to build cannons, but really, even if those 3 cannons are up, he's not defending the space. I mean, he's trying to like catch the reinforcements here in his location of the third, the X-third. But there are
Yeah,
just so many more units for NBA still. There's an Archon against Zealots. There's no way that Quark can actually win this. This fight, I mean. Yeah, and also the game.
yeah. Quark loses the entirety of his army again, and there's still quite a few units here left for NBA. We can see it in the supplies too. He's twice the supply. Some of that is probes, but not enough to help him defend, I would say. Not enough of that is in units for Quark. He did spam out some DTs here, excuse me, maybe hoping to catch the army without observers and be able to hold on and do a bit of damage with that. But looks like he's actually going to send this out on the map, maybe to pick off some of those reinforcements. But we do have the army now coming into this would-be 4th base of Quark, and yeah, he's just going to be able to kill that. And I think with that, he's just going to take this game.
Yeah, and he has observers everywhere. He has observers with his army, he has observers with his reinforcements, he has cannons at every base, so these CTs are not really going to do anything, and I think the hopes of Quark getting into the winner's match vanish, and that's it here. Actually, no, never mind. It's the best of
That
3,
was
of
only game
course.
1. Yeah.
That was only game 1. Sorry about that.
But yeah, he's definitely on the back foot. He's going to have to win both of these games now if he wants to advance to the winner's match.
Yes, and we are going into game 2 any second here. Meanwhile, we have some talking about some discussion about APM as always, but I think we talked about that enough already. We definitely saw that Quark is a super strong player, and APM doesn't really play a role in that. Okay, so the game is loaded. Can you join?
Yeah, I'm in. All right.
Okay. Yeah, so this last game, I think it was really the biggest factor was the storm drop by NBA. I think the storm drop, it killed like 20 probes, and that's a big deal in a PvP. With both players have 2 bases, and you kill 20 probes, that's really a big deal.
Yeah. All right, well, game number 2 will be on Eclipse, another 2-player map.
Yes, and game is up, so let's jump into it. In the top right of Eclipse, we have Quark.
All right, and in the bottom left, the Red Protoss NBA. All right, so Eclipse, I wonder what strategies we're going to see. I mean, the chokes naturals are pretty tight, so you can get away with some kind of quick expansions usually. Something like a Gate Robo Expand is just perfectly fine here, I would say.
Yeah. Meanwhile, players are talking about turn rates. Everything up to turn rate 8 is okay. Yeah, okay. He's used to play on that, being South American, often getting matched with Koreans, I guess.
Yeah. Usually they're a little bit lower turn rate playing against them as well. Yeah, more talk. Probably some more mind games or something from coming up from our players, but
But so far we have not seen any like super aggressive strategies. We don't have a single 2 gates so far in this whole group, and I mean especially on 2-player maps, the chances of a successful proxy I think are a bit higher because you already know where the opponent is, so you can place the proxies closer to your opponent. But I mean we're not seeing that. So far everything is normal for all the players.
yeah. It also means that it's more likely your proxy is going to get scouted early if your opponent does send a probe out early enough to scout your base and say, hey, you got nothing here, what's going on? Both players, actually, you could see kind of checking for proxies in their base, just sending that probe a little bit around to make sure there's nothing building there before sending it across the map.
Yeah, especially this path that NBA's probe is going right now. That's a very common path for a proxy, and he's actually scouting the full way down there and now heading towards Quark's main base here. Quark arriving a bit earlier, but shouldn't make a difference because Quark does not have a unit building. Looks like he's going for that goon first, so this probe will also get in.
Yep. And looks like we have a pylon from Quark placed in such a spot that you can't get a Manor pylon, so maybe realizing he might be a little bit weaker to Manor pylons by not going Zealot first, he's building a pylon there so he can't get a Manor pylon in that spot that can trap probes on 2 mineral patches. So
Yeah, that is very important. That's a good observation here. Okay, and meanwhile, goons are getting built, range is being researched, probes are scouting, so really the same for both players again, except that one zealot for NBA here.
Yep. First Dragoon is about to pop out for both players, and then that should be able to scare away this probe, get it out of their base, and then we can figure out what kind of tech or game they want to play.
Oh, and the probe will survive here with 4 HP. Goon is stuck. And now he's continuing to move, but that probe is gone. The probe of NBA was picked off, right? Yeah, 1 kill on the Dragoon here, so actually 3 probe advantage for Quark. That's crazy.
Yeah, one would have been that scouting probe, but I guess there was a couple of probes not made from NBA here. Looks like both players are actually going for 2 gates before any additional tech. Quark's was a little bit faster than NBA's here. And it looks like, okay, the Robo is coming down. So they're both doing 2 gateway into Robo, which is perfectly safe build here.
Yeah, this is pretty much the safest build you can do. You have the 2 gateways to be safe against a very unit-heavy build. So, of course, a 3 gate will have more units, but if you're in a defensive position with 2 gates, you're perfectly fine. And also, you get the robotics early enough for most DT builds if you go to the observer after it's finished. So this is really the safest build you can do. Of course, it can be at a disadvantage against a very fast expansion build, and maybe we see Quark going for the expansion, but that's not the expansion build I mean. Of course, there are builds where you get like expansion super early with only 1 gateway or so, and that's usually better than the safe 2 gateway robotics strategy. But anyways, we have 2 gate robotics for both players, and looks like they're meeting in the middle here.
Yeah, Quark is going to have a little bit of a high ground advantage initially, so NBA is definitely going to have to back up. Almost losing that goon. Okay, he will lose that one Dragoon. So a nice little pick off there for Quark, giving him a little bit of an advantage. And he's going to deny that probe from scouting into the main. Probe is going to throw down a pylon here, trying to potentially block a command center. Sorry, a Nexus coming out of Quark, but it looks like we can tell he wasn't able to put one down and wasn't about to put one down anyway.
Yep. So gets cancelled, of course, and now he's still making units. So maybe it's also intentional that like this is a fake. So he moves that probe into position and hoped for NBA to scout it somehow. Of course, he couldn't know that there was a probe coming, but he's actually just making units. He's not planning to expand anytime soon. But the probe is just sitting there, and this means he has a lot more goons. What do we have for NBA? NBA went for an observer first, so he doesn't have that many goons. Reaver is still needs some time to finish.
Yeah, we'll see how the control is here. He does have vision of that with that ob, so he does move in thinking he can take this fight, but how will the control be? It looks like he is going to back up. Quark does have enough to defeat this, and now killing his ob, he's going to push NBA back up his own ramp and be able to at least get a contain on him for a little bit here if he wants.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I mean, he had the observer and he saw the goon count, and I think the goon count was actually 1 or 2 higher for Quark, so I'm a bit confused that he actually went out. I mean, he lost more goons now, and now he has to stay defensive and needs to be in his base. Quark could contain him here, but he's not doing it, so in the end, NBA can get out again and take his own expansion very soon. But yeah, Quark's expansion is a bit ahead because of that one fight here.
Yeah, so his advantage is going to be that he is going to have that faster Nexus, but we are going to have more tech coming out of NBA as he already has that Reaver out, and now he's building a shuttle, so we'll have to see is he going to fly across the map, maybe do some economic damage just to try and even out the little bit of supply advantage or economic advantage that Quark is going to get from having this faster base. But in saying that, you can actually see that Quark is down 5 probes from NBA here at the moment.
Yeah, that's interesting because he was ahead earlier by 3 probes already. It was 22 for Quark, 19 for NBA. So Quark did actually cut a lot of probes to get that 3 gateway production going and getting the Nexus. Meanwhile, NBA was making probes, and he has a later Nexus now, but when that's finished, he has a better economy actually, because I don't see Quark really catching up that 5 probe advantage before the Nexus is done for NBA. So economy is fine for NBA, and I think this is really decided by positioning here, if it is decided in the next 1 or 2 minutes. Are you still here? Okay, I guess not. So yeah, anyways, NBA is still sitting in a defensive position. I'm not sure if NBA knows what position he's in. I think Quark feels pretty good about what happened because he got that nice trade, he got a faster Nexus. But I mean, now you can see it. The Nexus is finishing and the worker count is exactly the same. So after all of this, the game looks pretty even, with Quark having a few more goons, of course. Quark did not go for Reaver, and this is something that you can do if you get an earlier Nexus and you have a little better economy. It can be really strong to just skip the Reaver and just add more gates earlier and have like a big goon advantage. And if you can flank the Reaver player in a fight, you can easily win the fight anyways by targeting the shuttle or the Reavers. But for that, of course, one requirement is to know where the army is. And so far, there's one observer here for Quark, but he's not really checking the army. So he has no idea about the army now. NBA could run across the map and arrive here at this high ground without Quark actually noticing. So that's a bit dangerous here.
Hello, hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me again?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So where were we now? It looks like yeah, we got quite a few more Dragoons here for Quark, as you mentioned. He has since passed NBA actually. He's 5 probes ahead. Remember, he was 5 probes behind.
Yeah.
That's interesting. This probe battle has kind of gone back and forth between who's making probes and who's not making probes. Both are pretty low for where they could or should be at this point. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a harass coming in here from NBA. He's got one shuttle with a Zealot and a Reaver in it here, flying towards the natural of Quark, and there's nothing really here to defend this. Will he see it in time? Very quick reaction.
And doesn't look too good. Oh, actually, never mind. He kills 4 workers here and flies into the main. This could be a nice attack. Oh, only a single one, but he's still here shooting for more. Okay, 1 more, so total of, I think 6 is killed, 7 here. And can he actually survive with the shuttle? It looks like he actually can, but no, he doesn't want to. He wants to go for another shot. And
well, the shuttle does get out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he got 7 probes, but then he wanted to get 1 more very juicy shot, but he couldn't get it, and now he lost the Reaver.
Maybe a bit too greedy. He definitely could have flown out of there with that shuttle and Reaver.
Yeah.
But as you said, he tried to drop but get some more probes. Didn't pay off for him. The shuttle still gets out, but it is very low on health. Only 6 HP left on that shuttle, so he's going to have to be careful with that moving forward. But we'll have to see where we want to go from here. Looks like we do have tech coming out from NBA, getting up to that Templar tech. Whereas Quark already has that Templar tech, so I expect to see either or both players going for their third bases here fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff happened in this game, but overall it's really equal. Yeah, really, both players have the same worker count almost, the same tech. Like the High Templars are starting for both players almost at the same time. But we can still see Quark having more units. And also the upgrade is a bit earlier. So if he can hit NBA's army with 1 upgrade advantage before NBA's Storm is out, I think he could actually crush this fight. But of course, that's a very sharp timing. The Storm is starting now for NBA. And looks like we lost Snipe again. But it's fine, he will come back. Second Forge here for Quark. So he's already ahead in the upgrade department here, and he's looking to get even more ahead. And I really like that. I really like a double Forge in PvP.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Nice. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I got a server connection loss on Brood War, but I didn't drop. So maybe I'm dropping now. Come on, man. I don't know what's wrong.
It's fine so far.
Okay. Well, maybe. It's getting really kind of laggy here. There we go. So yeah, it looks like, as I was saying, it looks like we are having those third bases coming up here from both players now, or maybe soon from NBA. He's got a probe kind of positioned over here. Looks like he wants to take that third base. Okay, and there he goes. So third base being taken by both players. I mean, probe counts are pretty even. Supplies are pretty much even. So we're actually looking like we could get into quite a long game here. This definitely has the potential, especially on a map like this where a lot of these bases are on high ground. So it can be incredibly hard to attack up them or take a base out before you can get surrounded by your opponent or before they can defend. So we'll have to see. I mean, pretty much every base is on high ground except for your naturals and of course top left, which with the two gases. So this could come down to a situation where who can get that extra base on this map.
Yeah, that could be the case, and also a lot of PvPs in late game are actually decided by a big fight, depending on the positioning of the army. So if one player can catch the army of the other players off guard and gets a few super good storms on clump units, that can end
Oh man.
that can end the game very quickly as well. Yeah, okay, this time it's incredible because you are actually disconnecting, but I can still hear you on Discord this time. Last few times you were gone on Discord as well. Okay, now he's gone on Discord. Well, unfortunate here, guys. I hope you're not too frustrated about this. I think it's still better to cast with 2 people here. Of course, if it's happening more and more, we have to start to think about some alternatives here, but so far we'll just accept that and have Snipe for most of the time anyways. Yeah, meanwhile, I mean, the third bases are pretty much up. NBA is a bit slower here. Quark is ahead in probes and in supply a bit, but the supply difference is really the probes, so the army should be roughly the same. But the big story here, I think, are still the upgrades, because Quark is already going for 2-1 here. Meanwhile, we also have 2 upgrades or 2 forges now for NBA, but those are very far behind. So if you compare this upgrade to Quark's upgrade, that's like half an upgrade ahead for Quark. So if he can wait for his upgrade and then take a fight, he's actually on 3 upgrades against 1, and that's a big deal, I think. And yeah, this is actually a super passive game. It's really incredible how both players are literally on hold position for 20 minutes. Okay, not 20 minutes, of course, but they are sitting exactly like this for a long time so far. And we can see maybe we are looking for a 4th base very soon. Okay, Quark actually taking it in the bottom left here. Meanwhile, a drop from NBA flying into the cannons. So not really watching there. The shuttle was decelerating. Yeah, what's interesting, Quark did not go for any shuttle harass so far. That's quite weird. Usually like storm drops are very common, but it looks like he doesn't want to go for a shuttle here. Meanwhile, Arbiter Tech for Quark. Do we have something similar for NBA? No. So there are protoss who like the Arbiter Tech, and then there are protoss who think that it's useless and they will never do it. They would rather get those like 3 additional High Templars instead of the Arbiter and the Stargate and the upgrade and so on. But yeah, that's really a stylistic thing. Snipe, I can hear you again.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
I'm back, maybe not. I don't know what's going on.
Doesn't look like it.
No. Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what's wrong with the connection today, but for the last couple of days. All right, I dropped you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. But yeah, you're dropped from the game now.
Yeah.
But you're still in it, right?
Oh yeah, I still have the game up, the replay up, so 17:20.
Okay, you're like ahead 2 seconds, but that's fine, I think. Yeah, this base at the bottom is not scouted by NBA here, but it looks like NBA actually wants to go for a fight. He is maxed out, but of course Quark is pretty much maxed out as well, so it really depends a lot on positioning here. We had the attempt of a Reaver drop by NBA here, but I think there was a storm defending the shuttle. Quite interesting. The cannons were not up, but now they are up, so actually, NBA now scouted the base, but it's running fine for Quark. Meanwhile, NBA getting his own 4th base. Of course, a bit later, but I think it's still fine. Oh, nice snipe here on the High Templars. Gets actually only one of them and still eats a lot of storms. So nice attempt here, but didn't really work out perfectly. Oh, but this storm! Oh my god, this storm is wonderful. And this one as well. Perfect storms here by NBA. But actually, I don't see a single... Okay, there's one... Okay, 2 more storms for NBA here. Only one single High Templar. Oh, and this is another perfect storm. Quark really not looking at this. Oh, and now NBA is going down. These storms were good enough for him that he smells blood, and he's going for it. Quark split off half of the army to get the counterattack going, but I think now he could really actually lose the game because of that, because he almost have no units. He has that Arbiter, so if he can snipe that one observer, he can actually hold. Can he do it? Can he snipe that one observer? Yes, he's going for it. He's going for it. Look at this observer. Okay, still alive. Wait, is the... I think the Arbiter is actually... The Arbiter was actually picked off. Oh, okay. Well, with that, I think he's pretty much dead. Quark, meanwhile, also trying to counterattack. But there's a cannon, there are storms, there's still a high ground with some goons. So if really NBA just stays on this high ground, I think he could hold this. Meanwhile, NBA is already in the base of Quark. Hi, Snipe, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Yeah. All right, but yeah, no, like you were saying, this is looking kind of crazy here. Kind of like a base situation. They're both taking a lot of damage, but I feel like Quark is taking a lot more damage than NBA is here. Losing all of his infrastructure in his main. How is he going to be able to come back from this? I mean, looking on the map, he does have more bases secured, having like cannons and units at the top of all these kind of pocket bases here. Whereas NBA is really only mining off of one base. But what is it going to look like once he's killed all of Quark's tech, all of Quark's infrastructure is made? And it looks like he is probably going to eventually hold on here at his own natural or main base.
Yeah, exactly. There's no observer anymore. 4 observers here for NBA and no observer for Quark. And with that, I think Quark really has no chance to win this game anymore. I mean, he is on 3 bases against only 1 running base. So it's really 3 against 1. So you cannot count out Quark yet, but yeah, with no infrastructure, with no gateways, even if you have 3 bases, you're not making units. There's no way to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, we can see him throwing up some gateways at some of these other bases, you know, putting 2 or 3 or 4 in each location here. Kind of, he's got like a Templar archives at the 12 o'clock base and a couple of tech buildings down here. So, I mean, maybe he can get something done here, but NBA is just going to have free roam of the map. He's going to be able to take all these other bases, and he's just going to have the big standing army. As long as he doesn't like throw it away, I don't know. I mean, it feels like Quark isn't going to be able to do much. Like, he just has to control the map, take all the bases, and eventually Quark will mine out.
Yeah. I mean, Quark has no room to even make a lot of gateways, so really the best answer here, or the best response for NBA would just be stay in the middle of the map, scout everything, take every base, and then you win the game. You don't have to push up here. You don't have to kill your opponent if he has no room to make anything. I mean, he has, what is it, 4 gateways here? 5 gateways total against like 13 or so, 12, and NBA will get even more very soon.
He is down about 20 probes here, but he should be able to make that up as long as he keeps producing, or starts producing here once he gets his next couple of bases going. But yeah, like, it's going to be so hard for Quark to ever push out on the map with such a big army here from NBA. Like, he should have some scouting or vision of this to see when Quark pushes out so he can actually go and attack it. But for now, it looks like he has a couple of Dragoons, maybe a couple of Obs moving into these positions now so he can actually see. And it looks like he actually wants to go for a Storm Drop here.
Yeah, it's
bottom
flying
left base.
in.
Quark realizing this pulls right away.
Oh, but this could be dangerous.
Okay, only loses 2
dodges
probes.
it.
It's not too bad.
But yeah, he has no unit here to kill this High Templar. He can only storm it. And he's doing just that. And with that he can continue to mine again. Oh! Yeah, okay, the Storm Drop not doing anything for NBA. But still the right thing to do for NBA. Just take expansions and try to Storm Drop all the time. That's perfect. By the way, I want to mention there was actually another game where a Protoss was in this weird position on these 2 bases in a BWCL game like 2 weeks ago. Maybe one of you has seen it. And that Protoss actually won the game against the Zerg, but yeah, quite different situation here. Dark Archons are joining the fray here, trying to maybe feedback some High Templars. The High Templars are pretty far in the front, so if NBA can get the Observer here a bit closer, he can actually feedback at least one of the High Templars right now. And feedback has a big range. Yeah, there was one. Nice feedback by NBA. I think NBA is really doing the right things here, and he should run away with this game.
Yeah, I would agree, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, like his position, he's gonna go down here to bottom right because there's a little bit of army on the map. If he sees this and can attack and kill that army, that'd be a good win for him. But even just controlling the map is going to be good for him. Although if he does let Quark build up a big army onto the map and Quark gets like a better engagement or something, like, things could still go wrong for NBA. But as it stands, he is making a lot of the right moves. I would like to see some more probes out of him.
Yep.
Like he's still not saturated at that.
Yeah, just very barely not saturated here with 3 probes.
Units moving into top left now to maybe get some harass done. If he could get a storm off on those probes, that'd be nice for him.
Yeah, and I don't like NBA scouting here, so this should not happen. There should not be three goons reaching his expansions without him noticing. That's a blunder, I think, but he needs a few more blunders like this to lose the game.
Yeah, does get most of his probes out of there. He lost a couple though still.
Oh, so, he actually lost
Quark
some more. It's a 3rd base.
Yeah.
To Storm Drop.
So, yeah. I mean, he's kind of letting Quark back into this a little bit. We can see they're like even in army supply now. Quark has arbiters again out on the map. Did he let him back into this game? Like,
yes.
Is Quark going to be able to take this game?
Yeah, I mean, he just had to contain. He was just like sitting in the middle with the army, but didn't really contain Quark at any base. Just one single contain at any base would be enough. But now he kind of missed a shot, and Quark is again reaching this base without NBA even noticing. So the scouting of NBA really lacking here, and this is definitely costing him the game here.
Yeah, nice stasis on those Reavers. Do you think this feels like, you know, he thought he was so far ahead, or he thought he got it, so he kind of started playing more relaxed or something? Like, it feels like he had such an opportunity to really contain Quark and never stop him from getting onto the map, but now it looks like Quark has a real shot of being able to take this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There is a stasis coming, and he actually, I think he blocks the ramp, so he could at least deny this expansion attempt. But it's still not a good position for NBA. But this was a good trade. If he can defend this base now, I think NBA could be ahead again.
Yeah, he does have quite a few more units here, plus he's got the Arbiter and Dark Archon. We do have another little counter coming out from Quark here at the natural of NBA, but it doesn't look like that's going to get anything done. There's more than enough units there for NBA. Quark does kill the Nexus here, so NBA really doesn't have any mining going on. He's got 2 pro...
Yeah, wow. This is crazy. So I can't hear you again if you can hear me. But I would love to know what the players are thinking in this moment. So Quark just lost his whole army but he killed his base. So is he actually thinking, oh man, I lost my whole army, now I'm probably dead? Or is he thinking, yes, he has no more mining, I can actually win this if I produce a few more units? So in weird, messy games like this, the perception of the players can really be super different from the reality. And that's super interesting. But see, this is what I mean. Again, NBA is not scouting. This should never happen. NBA just killed the whole army of Quark. NBA has a big, big, big army advantage. So he could really deny everything that Quark tries to do on the map right now. But he's just not doing it. He just lets Quark build up cannons, lets him run out with armies from all of his bases and gather them up together as one army. And this is really a big blunder, I think, by NBA. He has a few more Archons, so this still does not mean that Quark can win this. So this is definitely a nice fight. Oh yeah, nice storms. I can hear you again, Snipe.
Very, very nice storms, yeah. By Quark there. There's still a lot of army, but it's going to be so much harder for NBA to replace his army at this point. Because he's barely mining, right? He only has 16 probes on the map. So if he loses his whole army here and Quark's able to rebuild quicker, he can still, get out on the map and start pushing back and deny these expansions himself. Like, this is kind of crazy how this game's going down. Like, Quark's still got a ton of probes. Granted, a lot of them aren't mining at that top base. But he's still mining decently from the other two bases. He's still got his tech. The army is still bigger for NBA, which is the only thing he's really got going for him at the moment. But he's got to use that to get these bases mining and kind of contain Quark here.
Yeah, he really needs to place observers at every exit of every base that Quark has. Again, Quark is moving out with a small part of his army, and he will, again, join that part of the army with some more units at the top, I think. Okay, there are not a lot of units at the top, but still, this should not happen. This should not happen. Again, Quark is out on the map, and he can, again, maybe kill this base. But Quark is really not seeing it. Let's go to the vision of NBA here, I mean. Yeah, he has no vision here, except this whole area is completely dark for him. He doesn't know anything. And Quark could intercept him. Oh, the Arbiters? What about the Arbiters here? Okay, nice stasis by NBA. So NBA still has more units, I think. If he has another one of those stasises, I think he can crush the army of Quark again. So if he keeps doing that, of course he will still win the game. But this is way closer than it should have been, I think. Yeah, okay, stasis is his own Arbiters, but I think this is still a pretty good stasis overall. He is fighting from the low ground to the high ground here, and that is definitely not a good trade, but oh wow, he's yeah, he's actually losing a lot of units here, also getting a lot of unit stasis, and I can't believe how close this game is. Look at the supply. Quark is ahead in supply again, and he is rallying units from his two bases. Units are getting unstasis. Cannot stasis here with that Arbiter. How many units are there? Are there observers for everyone? Okay, I see 2 observers here for Quark. And it looks like with the reinforcements, Quark is actually winning this game. The other army unstasises, and now I think he has it. Arbiter goes down, last goon goes down. And now there's only 4 goons, 1 Dark Archon and a High Archon left.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got no mining, really, NBA. Like, this whole time he's had very little mining. So, like, we can still see he's only, like, half the probes of Quark. Quark's taking another base here. Like, I think he's done it. I think Quark's going to win this game now. Like, it was NBA's game to lose, but he kind of made a couple key mistakes, and it cost him.
Yeah. That's really unfortunate. He really let Quark get on the map way too much without noticing it. We have to remember that Quark has his top base outmined, and the other 2 bases, or at least the 6 o'clock, or what is it, 5 o'clock base, the left one of the 2 in the bottom right, is getting mined out very soon as well. There are a few blocks already gone and very low. But yeah, if he can secure this top left base that he's just taking now, he has the probes. He can just mine. He can literally just sit here and win the game.
Yeah, and he's also got way better upgrades too. Looking at this, NBA is only on 2-1, whereas Quark is on 3-1-3 here. So, like his army, his units are so much stronger. He's got a bigger army. He's got better economy. Like, I don't know what NBA can hope to do now. Like, maybe he can get a really big stasis here and take out this Nexus. Like, that's an amazing stasis, but it's still not going to be enough.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think it will be enough. His unit count is just too low at this point. I mean, he has 3 Archons fighting against mostly Zealots, so that's definitely a good fight for him. But overall, I just don't see him winning the fights in the long run, because the economy of him is just too bad right now. Can he kill this base, maybe? If he can kill this base, Quark is getting low on mining as well. But the units will unstasis at some point, and that's when the army of NBA will die.
Yeah, it looks like he will kill this Nexus, but like I said, I don't think this is going to be enough still. Like, he needs to make a few of these kinds of moves. Like, ideally Quark wouldn't lose this Nexus, but he doesn't mind that he lost it so much because he does still have mining on 2 bases. He still has the bigger army. He can just retake this, and it's easier for him to replenish his army at the moment. We are getting a few more probes out here, maybe for NBA, but he's about to mine out of his 4th base here. Like, every mineral patch is extremely low. So he's only going to be mining on 1 base himself here very shortly.
Yeah, wow. So we'll have in a minute or so we will have 2 bases for Quark against 1 base of NBA. NBA really has to secure another base. And by the way, the natural of NBA is still not empty. This is still a lot of minerals that he can just gather for pretty much free, because all the action, all the tension here is at the top of the map. So if he just takes his natural here, I don't think Quark will attack it. So that's a free expansion with like, those are more than at least like 2k minerals. So the Nexus will pay itself easily.
Yeah, definitely be worth retaking that. And then he could transfer all those probes he has at that base that is mining out just now. I still don't know if that would be enough. Like, Quark's in a pretty good position. He's actually transferring all the probes from his base. He's only got 2 left mining here. Maybe leave a couple more would be better, but I think it's fine. Like, he's going to get good saturation at this new base here once again. He's got a couple arbiters. He's got a pretty good standing army.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades alone. I saw it earlier when NBA was killing Quark's main. The upgrades, the 3-2 upgrades of Quark, barely finished before the forges were killed. So that was definitely very good for Quark, and we can really see the upgrades paying off big time here for Quark in all those little fights. Yeah, some shuttle storm harass trying to be done by NBA here, trying to storm parts of the army, but this is not really accomplishing anything. You can see the supply. We will probably see another max out in this game. Can you believe that, guys? Another max out by Quark is coming very soon, I think. And NBA, he doesn't really have a lot. I think it's really NBA's thing, or NBA's task to do something now. He's kinda attacking with some of the units, but there's no way he can get up to the high ground and kill the space or so. To be honest, with the units running around here everywhere, the replay looks kinda broken, but this is just because the game is so weird, and now Quark is just taking another base, and if this base gets up, there's nothing, really nothing NBA can still do, because a Quark will just have so much more minerals. And yeah, the bottom base, I mean, he removed most of the probes here, so almost no mining here. This base is getting kinda low as well, but he has this base, and if this one gets up, he has this base as well. So like 2.5 complete bases. Oh, maybe the stasis on the ramp here. Where is it? Okay, stasis on the ramp. So this is the only chance that NBA has. This is it. And
Yeah.
yeah, okay, you can
I was gonna
go
say,
here.
yeah, he should be able to take out this base now. It looks like Quark is just gonna cancel that. So, I mean, if if NBA can get that base for himself, maybe. But like you're saying, there's still actually resources in both of these players' natural bases that could be taken by either player at some point, if it gets to that point. Like, this game could go all the way at this point. I still think Quark is advantaged, but if NBA can secure this bottom base, like we said, that's what he needs to continue this game going. He needs another fresh base. Oh, and we have a little bit of a recall now
Recall,
into
yeah.
NBA's base, and yeah, does he have enough to deal with this? He's bringing some units back, but how much damage is going to be done?
Where's the storm? Will we see a storm here? He has 2 storms. And there we see 1 storm and another one on the stasis.
Yeah,
I mean, he will
like
defend this, but this is not effective for him.
yeah. Oh, he's taking some fat storms at the bottom of the ramp here now as well. Taking so much.
Wow. That's really a lot of damage. And yeah, you can see the supply plummet for him. And this is his whole army. He has no army defending his only mining base. And with that, Quark's other 2/3 of the army will seal the deal here and secure this game. This is a crazy game. Crazy game. I still can't believe NBA lost this. Really, it's such a lack of scouting. He had the game in his bag, but he just let Quark run around, take additional expansions for pretty much no reason, and now he pays for it. So this is definitely a replay that you will look at later on and probably be really frustrated, but hopefully learn for the next time he's in such a position where he killed off the complete main base of his opponent.
Yeah, Quark's even going to go ahead and take that base for himself now. It looks like putting a pylon down there and about to throw down a Nexus. But this is more of a I know I've won kind of a Nexus. Like, he knows he's got this game now. He doesn't really need to worry. If he loses his base or not, it doesn't really matter to him. And it looks like this is the last ditch effort here of NBA trying to push up a ramp into Cloaked Dragoons. Nice storm coming down, but it's just not going to be enough. And losing this, I think he's going to lose the game.
Yes. Wow. Very nice plate. I thought this game... Yeah, maybe it was the case what you said, Snipe, that he thought... Yeah, we really thought he got the game, as he's saying, and maybe didn't really check all the things on his list of things to do to secure the game. Really played a bit laid back, and yeah, then the game glitched out of his hands, and now he needs to fight Quark for another game in game 3 of the series. And yes, for 40 minutes in, and he's only 2-1. That's also the case. Quark was on 3-1-3 or 3-2-3 even in the end. I'm not sure. Okay, so we are going for the last game here between Quark and NBA. I can hear you, Snipe. You're back. But for how long? Not very long, it looks like. But we have the third game open. Snipe, if you can hear me, you can join now. Okay, nice.
Hello, hello.
Yes, 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 I can hear you. Okay. Game number 3 is starting. We have the 2 players being 1-1 in the series, and the game is loaded, so let's go into it.
Looks like some more talk here. Did you ban this map?
Yeah, so yeah, let's quickly introduce the players here. In the bottom left we have our green Protoss NBA.
And in the top left are Magenta Protoss, Quark, or 100 APM. These two definitely pretty chatty. We even saw it at the end of last game. I don't know if you talked about that briefly, but I couldn't hear you there. So,
Yeah.
Just we kind of saw NBA admitting to the fact that he indeed thought he had won that game, and I mean, we thought he had won that game too, looking at it. So,
yes.
We'll have to see which player can come out here on top. Like, this is a pretty important game. Whoever wins this does go on to the winner's match.
Yeah, so I want to explain the format of the map picks here to the viewers, because we saw, I think Quark, it was saying, did you ban this map? So the way it works is there was a starting map for every series, and then the winner of the first game, or always the winner of one game, will actually be able to ban another game, another map of the map pool, and the loser picks from the remaining maps. So that's how the map picking works in this BSL Gosuleague. And it looks like you're dropping again from the game. Yeah, kind of unfortunate, but it looks like this is always happening. And yeah, Snipe, you're back. Yeah, so you're dropping again, but I mean, then we will just be in two separate instances of this replay, and we'll still be able to watch it.
Jeez.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Yes. You can hear me, right?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't know what's going on, but I actually have to leave in about 20 minutes anyway, so I'll probably just take off after this game instead.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunate, but was still fine, I think, and yeah, we'll at least see this last PvP of this second series of the game together and see what they do.
All right. Well, what do both players want to do so far? Looks like pretty mirrored builds. Neither player opting to go for that Zealot. Both just going to go ahead and get their core up. And okay, saying that, NBA just started a Zealot now.
Yeah.
But still no Zealot for Quark, so he's going to go ahead and go for the Dragoon first. Nice little bit of harass there from that probe, just delaying that mining of the gas a little bit for NBA. Whereas NBA's probe's just going to attack this pylon here of Quark for a little bit. Okay. Run.
Maybe he can kill the core. Who knows? If it's not
Maybe.
the pylon, then it's the core.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, both
right.
players just doing a pretty normal opening. Still no 2 gates. So I think this is the 6th game we see. Or no, the 5th game, I think. But not a single 2 gate here.
This is interesting. So we have no range coming out from NBA. He's got that probe out of there before his Dragoon, so he's going to go ahead and skip range. And he's going to throw down a really fast Citadel. But meanwhile, we have a proxy as well coming from Quark.
Okay.
So what is he going to put down here at this proxy?
The robotics for the fast observer to hard counter the DT builds. That's it.
Yeah. Like, it feels like he's probably just going to lose because the Templar tech is about to go down. And 3-gate DT coming out of Quark here. Very interesting.
Wow.
So is the 1-gate DT going to beat the 3-gate DT just because it's so much faster? Like, he should be able to get a DT out and into Quark's base while protecting his own base with his own DT, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm envisioning happening here.
Yeah, this really depends on the scouting and if both players realize what's going on. Because if that's the case, as you said, just to explain it to the viewers who are not experts on PvP, if both players are going DTs, if you realize it and you are getting into the main base of your opponent, you can block your own ramp with a DT and the opponent cannot get in. There is a little special trick that you still can get in, but we'll talk about that when it's actually happened.
Yeah. So first two DTs are being made now. There is a forge coming down here for Quark. We do have one for NBA as well. Is one of them being to be able to get a forge out? excuse me, in time, or a cannon out in time? Let's see.
I
Like
don't think
there is.
NBA will.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a DT block on his ramp or something, but I don't think he's gonna block with this DT. Like he's gonna send both DTs across the map here, right? And then the DT
Yeah.
of Quark is gonna finish up and get into his base before a cannon is down.
Oh, he actually moved his Dark Templar on the ramp and put on hold position. He
Oh,
adjusted it.
okay,
So that's
very nice.
actually very interesting because he's getting the pylon and he wanted to make a cannon in the front, and also his units are outside. So wow. And the DT is getting in. Oh
No,
my
the
god.
DTs didn't block for Quark, so now the DT gets in. So I think with this DT block, NBA just wins, right?
Okay, yeah. So NBA should win at this point, but as I already said there is a way that Quark can still get in here, and that way is you put two DTs on this ramp and merge to a Dark Archon, and then cancel the merge in the last second and hope to glitch out the DT here. So that's the way you can still press the DT out of way here. Let's see
He's
if it,
bringing
it's
all his
super hard.
yeah, he's bringing his probes.
No,
All
he
his probes
failed.
over here. Yeah,
GG. That's it. He didn't cancel it in time. So that's the only way you can still do it, but
yeah,
it's
and
like
he realized.
incredibly hard.
Yeah, kind of a crazy game there, but
Yeah. Wow. It's like a millisecond you have to hit. You have to merge them, so they try to go into each other, and in the moment they are overlapping each other already, you cancel the warp, the merge, and because they are overlapping, they glitch out, and sometimes they glitch the other Dark Templar out of the way. So, like, it's really you have to be perfect in the canceling. But yeah, that was too hard for him in this game, and congratulations to NBA for advancing into the winners final, winners series.
yeah. No, I had a game just like that. Like you said, DT against DT. Both of us had DTs on the ramp, and it's like both trying to glitch out the opponent's DT to get in, but didn't happen. So it ended up being a tie game because we had gotten a DT in and base traded.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Wow. So we have a winners series here. So we had Venom defeating. Yeah, it was Venom winning, right? Venom defeating. Yeah, Stormtoss 2-1. And now we have seen NBA defeating Quark 2-1. So the winners game will be Venom versus NBA here. And we are loading the game. Actually, Snipe, you said you will leave, right? Looks like he already left. But yeah, let's just wait for Snipe to come back. But then he will probably leave and yeah, see what's. And then we will watch the rest of the games alone here. Okay, let me adjust the overlay, of course. In the meantime, it is Venom versus NBA. The winners match is always getting casted first, Quark. So it's always winner series and then the loser series and then the decider. Okay, so it looks like the overlay is done here, and with that we are starting the game. So the start map for this winner series is a different one from the first two series where it was Benzene. This time it is Sylphid. So Sylphid is the start map here, and we are going into this game. And there we go. Can I switch the colors? No. Okay, so in the top position of Sylphid we have our blue, dark blue Protoss, it is Venom, and in the left side we have our red Protoss NBA. Okay, yeah. So to talk about Sylphid a bit, we have seen maps like Benzene, maps like Polypoid, Eclipse, where you always have a high ground. And it's also a pretty long rush distance. This is completely different on Sylphid here. Sylphid has a pretty short rush distance, and the main and the outside of the main, so the natural basically, is on even ground, so on the same level. So you don't have high ground advantage as the defender. So that makes like builds, aggressive builds with, for example, 3 gateway goons a bit stronger on this map. So there's a high chance we could see such a build on this map. Is it possible to expand the sound of in-game sound a bit? So so you're saying you want the volume a bit higher, right? Is that true for anyone? Can I get some more feedback on this? Should I increase the volume of in-game here? Please tell me. Then of course I can do it. A little bit, yes, yes. It's fine, maybe a tiny bit, a little bit. Okay. I think we agree on this. So let me adjust it here. Okay. Yeah, of course, guys. As you can see, I'm always trying to read the chat in between the games, even sometimes during the game if my co-caster is speaking, which is not the case anymore for the rest of this day, but I'm still reading the chat a lot, and if you have any criticism, any comments, any feedback, always put it in the chat, and I will read it out on the stream here and reply to it if it's useful. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the NBA scouting. Goon is not done because he went for double Zealot and second pylon before core here. That is definitely interesting. Meanwhile, pretty normal build for NBA here with the Zealot first into the Goon and the range here. This is probably because a 2-gate is also pretty common on this map. A 2-gate can also work because the choke is a bit easier to attack compared to a ramp for an aggressive Zealot player, and also, as I already said, the rush distance is a bit shorter here. So in general, aggressive strategies are very good on this map, so getting the 2 Zealots is just a bit safer here against that. Oh, and we see a second gateway coming up for Quark right before the Goon is out, and okay, this last round will mean that this probe will die. On the other side we see another probe also dying probably. Oh yes, okay, it's closed off. Okay, and second gateway for NBA as well. So both players with the same build order, but what do we have here? We have the Citadel for Venom here. What is the tech for NBA? He is on a lot of gas here, so there should be some tech coming up very soon. I think it will be the robotics, because he builds the pylon here near the choke. You always, or you usually want to get the robotics near the choke, so your Reaver is in your natural quicker. But he needs to do that very soon, otherwise the DTs could kill him here. Yeah, Templar Archive on the way here, and here is the robotics. So this is the matchup we have here, and I'm not sure if this observer will be out in time. This is a pretty late observer. It's interesting. So in my opinion, if you go for early 2 gates, you should always go out on the map with your units and pressure a bit, just to get some scouting information, just to see how much units your opponent has. But NBA is not doing that, so he's getting units, and he's still not seeing that he has more units than Venom here. So he cannot like figure out that there could be DTs coming. So this could be a problem. DTs are in production here. Robotics will be done very soon. If he makes the observatory immediately and also goes for that observer immediately, I think he is still fine. But it will be pretty close. It will be pretty close. Yeah, but I think he's actually fine. And if that's the case, he can just counterattack, I think. There are no cannons, as you can see. There's no forge even. There's also no storm take. So really, if these DTs are dead, there's nothing that Venom still has. So I think NBA can just counterattack with an observer. Should also get a second observer, of course, to make sure that there's no DT running around and getting into his main after he moves out. But yeah, you can see the timing is actually perfect. The observer is just spawning right when these DTs arrive the natural. This is perfect for NBA. And first DT already goes down. I think this was an intentional hold position by NBA here, or like he pressed stop on his goons so they don't start to shoot as soon as DTs get into range. So the DTs actually thought he has no observer, and then all the goons fire and this one DT is going down. But I think now really NBA should... Oh my god, he's not getting a second observer. He could just straight up kill him. Look how much of an advantage he has. He has way more units. If he just gets another observer, he can just move this army and kill him and still be fine in his main with another observer and some reinforcements. But he's not doing that. But of course, he does not know in what position he's in. So this is really... Yeah, it's easy to say for a caster like me, for an observer here, but he doesn't know what situation he's in, but he is really missing a big chance to straight up win this game. So now the storm is being researched and it's almost done, and the first High Templar is already out. So this timing window is closing very, very quickly, and yeah, it looks like the only chance that NBA still has with still no Nexus against a pretty early Nexus is to go for that push when the shuttle is done with the Reaver. So it looks like this is the only thing that NBA can do, and that will be his last chance. But I mean, there are already 2 High Templars. Will there be another High Templar? No. Okay, more goons are getting produced. No additional High Templar. That's interesting. Yeah, but at this point, I think Venom already has enough units here to hold this. I don't think this attack will actually kill him. Thanks for the follows, guys. Yeah, and I mean, it really depends on the targeting by the Reavers, of course, or by the Reaver. It's only one. And of course on the storms. But usually with 2 storms, he almost has 3 storms as well. If the NBA waits a little bit longer, there are actually 3 storms out. And with 3 storms, there's no way that NBA can actually push in. A cannon even finishing, but now this is the attack. This is it. There's another Templar here, so he will have even another storm. Where is it? First storm going on the Reaver. Very good. Another storm on the Reaver, and this Reaver is getting saved. Okay, very close save here. But there are 2 more storms. There are actually 2 more storms, I think. Very soon, very soon. They're not done now. But we are at 70 energy. And if he gets 1 more storm on this Reaver, he can also morph an Archon. Let's see, where is it? Oh my god, he cannot lose this. Okay, nice storm on the goons. Yeah, and I mean, you can see it. It looks like NBA cannot push in. He's actually taking his own base now. But is it too late? Is it too late here? Reaver and Shuttle are down. Oh, he actually lost his High Templar, so he cannot morph an Archon here. So this is a bit closer than it should be. Okay, we have the attack here, but I think this is enough for Venom. So who is getting the better concave? It looks like... Oh, NBA moving back a bit, having more goons fighting, but there's another storm, very nice storm. And with that, Venom is holding this attack. And now he's really in a very good spot. The Nexus is done for NBA, so he's still like Venom has not won this game, NBA can still come back for sure, but he's pretty far behind. Almost 10 workers behind here, 20 supply. This is a pretty hard position to fight back from. Thanks for the follow, TL Riddler. So let's see what the upgrades are. Let's look at the big picture here. We have no upgrades going for Venom here, so that could be a problem. That could allow NBA back in the game, but NBA doesn't even have a Forge. There's also no Templar tech yet. Oh, and we have a donation here by Anonymous. Thanks for the donation. My wife for Aya, yeah. Okay, and yeah, so really NBA, no upgrades, no Templar tech yet, so really Venom is just far ahead, but he really has to use this advantage as well. He can use that advantage, for example, by getting his third base earlier. He tried to go for a Storm Drop here, but nice interception by NBA. And yeah, you can see it's 30 supply difference at this point, and he's getting the third base. So this is exactly what Venom needs to do if he's ahead. And he cannot allow NBA to take a third base quickly himself. Oh, the shuttle gets intercepted. Okay, nice catch by NBA. Okay, NBA at least on top of his defense here against drops. And the probe difference is closing, so there's still a shot for NBA, definitely. So let's see what the gate count is. We have 6 gateways here for Venom. And we have also the 6th gate coming for NBA, but he was on 5 gates for a little longer here. Oh, will we see a fight? Usually Templar tech is definitely way superior to Reaver techs, because Reavers are slow. Thai Templars can just storm the Reavers and kill them very quickly. You really have to spread the Reavers a bit. You cannot drop both Reavers at one spot, because then 2 storms will just kill them. Oh, do we have a storm here? No, we don't. First Templar gets killed, and you see, okay, nice, Reavers are spread a bit. Nice save here, and the Reavers are still alive, but now it looks like, yeah, Reavers are dead, and you can see Venom just has so many more units. And that is the GG from NBA here. Okay. GG. One second. Do I have... never mind. Okay. So, Venom takes the first game. Yeah, in a pretty nice game, pretty solid game by him. And yeah, it was really interesting. So NBA really had a shot there to straight up win the game in the beginning, but he just didn't know. He had like 8 more goons or so at one point. If he just goes across the map with that observer and gets a second observer, he wins that game. But he waited on one base for way too long, stayed in his natural for way too long, and let Venom get that benefit from that fast expansion. So kinda unfortunate here for NBA, but now let's see how he's doing in the second game. Second game will be on Eclipse, so that's the map choice of NBA here. That is also the map that he lost against Quark, so no post-traumatic disorder here. He still wants to play this game, this map. Okay, and we are almost ready to jump in here. And now we are ready, so let's go. So in the top right in red. Oh, wow, never mind. We don't need introductions. See the set. I think you should attack when you killed one dark. I watched the rep. You see, so both players are totally agreeing to what I said. Yeah. I mean, but that still doesn't change the fact that NBA couldn't know that in the game. It's always easy to talk like this when you actually see everything, but in such a stressful situations when you're in the game, you just can't know. Here even trying to get some more information out, but yeah, the range didn't matter. He had like 12 goons against 8 goons or so. So he definitely could have won the game there. We see some chat about a wife. Okay. We also see in the chat a message from Snipe and also a message from Snipe on Discord, it looks like. Yeah, so Snipe is out for now. He had to leave anyways, and it looks like his connection was not on par today. So yeah, was still nice that he joined me for the cast here as always. Always good to cast with Snipe, but we'll do the rest alone here. Okay, so let's take a look at what's happening in this game. So we see the one Zealot into the Goon, just very standard for Venom, and NBA going for the two. Going for the two Zealots here. I think last game it was Venom actually going for the two Zealots and NBA going for the one Zealot into Goons, so switched around here. But it shouldn't matter a whole lot if there's no like 2-gate Zealot rush or so. It's all good. Okay. So the first Goon should come out soon and will chase away this probe. On the other side we'll see the same. Actually, oh, never mind. I take that back. NBA is not going for a second Zealot. He was building it, but he cancelled it again. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to do sometimes. If you are in a position that you have your gateway idling and the core is not quite done, so you know you want to make the Goon in like 10 seconds and you already have the minerals, you can just queue up Zealots, and if your opponent is going for some weird attack and you really need that Zealot, you just have it completed for a certain percentage already and you can start the Goon afterwards. And if you don't really need it, you just cancel it when you make your Goon. So in some cases that can be beneficial to already queue up the units that you cancel later on, if you don't need the minerals for something else, of course. Okay, but anyways, so the worker count is pretty much even here, and we see the little first fight in the middle, and oh, Venom getting very good shots in the beginning here. Goon already yellow, will get probably one more shot when it's tried to get up the ramp, and that should be it for this fight. Okay, gets not shot anymore, but still a yellow Goon. Oh, and Venom actually tries to get up here, tries to get the Goon. Not successful, so he uses that Zealot to scout the robotics facility, also scouted the second gateway. So that's definitely a good, good first encounter here for Venom, I think. Getting one Goon pretty low and then scouting the main base. So now he knows what's up. He knows there's like 2-gate Reaver push coming, probably. And now this is the response. So he's going for the fast expansion against this very unit heavy opening by NBA. So that's really interesting to me. So the thing is that he accomplished by scouting that it's not Dark Templar. He scouted, he got in there with the Zealot, he saw, okay, it's a robotics build. So he actually doesn't need to get an observer. He can go straight into the Reaver. So his Reaver is out a little bit earlier. He's saving the minerals for the observatory in the beginning. He can start the Reaver earlier. He will still probably get an observer later on. But this Reaver is very quick. And he also has this high ground here, so he can delay an NBA that wants to push, and he can also get his Reaver out very early, and even a second one here. So that's why he can get for he can go for that super fast expansion here. But it would still be close, I think, if NBA really went for that push with 2 Reavers and the shuttle, but NBA is not doing it anyways. Maybe because Venom was scouting his base, he's just going for a Nexus himself. So in this case, of course, Venom with a slight edge with the earlier Nexus, of course, and also the earlier Reavers here. And with that, I think Venom has a good shot at getting out of this group in first place. I mean, he's already one game ahead here in the series, and he only needs one more win, and it looks like he will get slightly ahead in this game as well. Worker count also in his favor here by 4. And now we'll see some additional gateways and the shuttle. Meanwhile, we still have the same situation for NBA. He's going for his own Reavers now, after the Observer, of course. He built 2 Observers here, is now scouting Venom, and it's always important to scout what state your opponent is in. You want to see the gateways, you want to see the Reaver count or the Observer count, you want to see the expansion. If possible, you also want to check the minerals. You want to click the minerals and see how long this expansion is up already. And I think this is exactly what he did. You see, he flew here with the Observer and then turned around. This is exactly the range you need to click a mineral block to see how long this expansion was up again already, right? So that is very important. So he got all the scouting information, he know what position he's in, and now he thinks, okay, maybe I can do some damage, but against 2 Reavers, I don't really think so. I think he just has to go for a longer game here. But his worker count is... the difference is getting bigger and bigger. So it's 7 workers already, and this is not a good situation for him. Just getting the third gate here, no additional tech apart from, of course, the Reavers. Meanwhile, we see the Citadel getting started by Venom, who is already on 3 gates for a little while longer. Yeah, but of course, on this map, you can't really attack this way, because if your opponent is sitting like this on the high ground here, you will probably lose the fight. But what's the alternative? Will you go around this whole way? What if you're here, or like here, and then your opponent is just counter-attacking your natural? This could be really bad as well. So it's a bit hard to attack on this map with a purely goon army. So the other option you can do is just get a third base. But so far we have both players just building up. Oh, 3 Reavers here for NBA, that's also very interesting. 4th gate coming, and the Citadel is also going up for NBA here. Meanwhile, we have Citadel already completed. Oh, Zealot speed. Zealot speed before Storm. I don't think Zealots are the right unit here against so many Reavers. Of course, again, he does not know that. He does not know how many Reavers are there, because he has no scouting so far. Observer is coming here, he wants to see that. But the counter observer already here, goons are in position, so there's really no scouting to be done for Venom. We still have a lot of discussion about relationships and wives in the chat here. Yeah, just to clear that up, so I have an... how do you say that? I'm engaged to... I don't know the name for a person that you're engaged to. Is it like... I don't know. Anyways, so I'm engaged to a woman who is aware, who understands StarCraft, who is also a gamer, so just so that's cleared up for anyone. Fiancé, right? That's That's the word. Yeah. Okay, anyways, we have Venom taking the third base now. So again, Venom is still ahead here. He's 10 workers ahead. This worker difference is just rising more and more. What about the upgrades? Oh my god, the first upgrade for NBA has not even started. We had him struggling on the upgrade department in his previous games as well, especially against Quark, where he was still on 2-1 upgrades after 40 minutes. So upgrades really not the strongest point of NBA here, and that could come back to bite him. We already see the first upgrade is more than halfway completed for Venom, and Venom's almost 15 workers ahead now. So I feel like if this game is going for another 5 to 10 minutes, there's very little that NBA can do. I think the best NBA could do is going for a push very soon and maybe ending the game with that. But apart from that, it feels like he's just falling further and further behind here. And we see a speed shuttle moving out with some High Templars here. The third base just started for NBA, so it looks like this drop is designed to go for a drop on the third base, but there's no third base yet here. So we will just fly over this. Yeah, you can see he's parking here. He really expects a base to be here, but there's no base. But he can still fly into the main. No reaction so far by NBA. No reaction. There's a little probe pull. Can he do it? Oh, nice drop. Okay, he actually got a lot of units there, a lot of probes. Sometimes it's hard to really hit the probes that are sliding around, but he did 2 storms to really make sure to hit the probes, and that was really good. So really just making this probe difference even bigger. So now I think NBA really has one more shot to win this game, and this is a frontal attack right now to win the game. I don't think a long game works here for NBA. If you're at 30 probes at 30 minutes, this is really not a good situation. So I think he has to go for an attack here. What about the upgrade? Oh, upgrade just started. Oh no. Meanwhile, the second upgrade already on the same progress and another fortress here. So yeah, really, if Venom defends this attack, I think the game is pretty much over. So this is the attack that counts. Okay, unloads the Reavers here. Can get a nice shot on the Zealots. Ah, not quite. Ah, still a good shot, but not... Okay, never mind. This is a good position for NBA. Nice storms here. Very good position for NBA. Another nice storm. Ah, but it looks like Venom just has so many more units. NBA just lost his timing window, I think. But it looks like NBA could barely win this fight. But even if he does, he has to kill Venom here, and this is not going to happen. So I think we'll see a GG very soon here. Venom has this game in the bag. Yeah, you can see. So NBA barely wins this fight, but in the end he cannot kill Venom, and Venom is just too far ahead. You can see after this fight 40 supply difference, 40 supply advantage here for Venom despite losing this fight. His production, his gateway count, his upgrades, everything is ahead for Venom, and yeah, what can I say? NBA still trying to be in this game, but I just don't see any way to come back. Okay, maybe the storm drops are the key here. He is going for a storm drop. Maybe if he can kill like 20 probes and he evens out the probe count, then he can come back in the game. But so far, it looks really rough for him. Meanwhile, scouting, maybe denying this expansion. He needs to be quick. Yeah, okay, maybe he can deny this expansion. Get his own 4th up soon. Ah, okay, he cannot deny it, so this expansion is going up. Okay, shuttle is moving. And Will we see a nice storm drop here, or will the troops be moved away? No, no move away. Okay, very nice drop. This is definitely the way that NBA can get back into this game. Very nice drop, killing like, I guess, like 12 to 15 probes here, and now the difference is only 3. So I don't want to say he's back in the game, because he's definitely still down 20 supply. He's down 1 base very soon, and he's also down on upgrades for a lot. So yeah, he's not even getting the second upgrade. So he's still on 1-0 against the soon to be 2-1 for Venom. Venom also with a lot of Archons here. Does he have... Okay, no, not a single Storm. Just a lot of Archons. That's an interesting decision here. Yeah, but the army is just still far bigger here. Oh, actually, never mind. NBA is actually ahead in probes now. I think I misread the numbers like a minute ago. So NBA actually ahead in probes now. Okay. So maybe he has a shot to get back into this game. But I feel like if there's a fight happening right now with a 2 upgrade advantage, if this upgrade finishes, then Venom will just take it. But it looks like he doesn't really want to get aggressive. He's maybe a bit scared, because that last fight really didn't went as well as it should for Venom. So maybe he's a bit more careful now with moving around. Yeah, and the supply gap is closing, because the economies are more even now. So this could still be a super long game. Again, there's only, okay, 1 storm now. Okay, maybe second storm for Venom. 2 storms for Venom. Not a single storm here for NBA. What's going on with Protoss not getting any storms in their armies? I'm a bit confused. Like mass Archons, no storms. Okay, there's 1 High Templar, and there are 2 more that don't have energy yet. And Venom going back again. Meanwhile, NBA moving out. There is an observer by NBA, no observer by Venom. So it looks like NBA has a vision advantage, but I'm not sure if this is the best fight here for NBA. Some units are still on the high ground, low ground here for NBA, and I think this is a very good fight for Venom here. Some Snipe Storms for NBA, but yeah, you can see Venom just has so many more units. The upgrade advantage is really incredible. It was a 1-0 for NBA, 2-1 for Venom here, and yeah, as I said, the upgrades are really important, especially in a mirror. No, never mind. In every game, upgrades are super important, and if you have 3 upgrades against 1 upgrade, and you also have more units, then even good storms cannot change the fight. And yeah, Venom takes it. So congratulations to Venom here. Venom advances to the round of 8 for the BSL 10 Gosuleague in first place here from his group. So congrats. Okay, and that means we are transitioning to the losers match here between Stormtoss and Quark. So we have the battle of the low APM Protoss. Okay, game is loading. Give me a little moment to update the overlay here, and then we go into the game. Okay, overlay is adjusted, and now we are ready. So let's go. It is Quark versus Stormtoss in the losers match of this Group A of the round of 16 in the BSL Gosuleague. And in the top right corner of the map, Polypoid, we have Stormtoss. And in the top left corner, the British Protoss, Quark. So those are the 2 players that are really known for low APM. We can see Stormtoss playing a bit better in that department, having a bit more efficient APMs, because he's getting the same things that Quark is getting with lower APM, so the APM are actually more efficient here for Stormtoss. Don't think it will play a big role here, but yeah, will be fun to see these two players. I think both of these players are also players who are sometimes liking a bit unusual strategies. I think Quark even a bit more than Stormtoss. So we could definitely have some surprises here in this series. And so far we have both players doing the same. Just one gateway gas. Still not a single second gateway before the gas in this whole group so far. And Stormtoss actually going for a super fast scout and also finds his opponent in the first position. Actually, not the super fast scout. I think actually Quark scouts is a bit later than average. I think on average most players are scouting after the gateway on a 4-player map, and that's what Stormtoss did here. So I think this is totally normal. Quark, I think he saw where the probe of Stormtoss was coming from, so he's actually scouting in the correct direction as well. And yes, Europe, Venom did win 2-0 in the winners match over NBA and advances to the round of 8. That's correct. And now this is the losers match here. Okay, so as always, I don't think I have to repeat it every time. We have both players getting the first goon, waiting for the goon to kill the probe, and then going for the tech. It's happening in every game. But I see something here. You see this? You see how he had 250 gas? 250 gas, and then researching the range. That is interesting, I have to say. So there are two options. Either Quark just forgot about researching range. Unlikely, I would say. But then again, he's also forgetting to send the probes to mine, so... But still, unlikely that he just forgot the range. Maybe he hoped that Stormtoss will just leave the base with the probe early, so then he can save the gas and go into fast DTs, and he is actually going for the DTs. So I think that's what he was trying to do here. Now, of course, because the probe stayed in his base for such a long time, he had to start his range, so otherwise it's way too obvious. So, but this also means because the probe was here so long, his Citadel is quite delayed. So I'm not sure how effective this will be, but let's see what Stormtoss is doing. Never mind, hold that thought. We have a little fight here. Ooh, not the best fight for Stormtoss. Fighting upper ramp, getting shot a few times, but overall even trade, I would say. Yeah, Stormtoss is actually going for robotics. And we have a raid by Blackman. Thanks Blackman, 19 more viewers here from Blackman's stream. Welcome. Okay, and what do we have here for Stormtoss now? Okay, we see the observatory into the robotic support base, so pretty standard, I would say. He will get an observer before the Reaver, and with that he should be totally safe against the incoming DTs here. Oh, by the way, yeah, the proxy gate, we saw that earlier against... I'm not sure against who it was. That was the one game where both players went DTs. And yeah, this means the DTs is here a bit earlier than usual, but the observer is still out in time because he only went for one gateway into robotics. So this is, I think, a pretty good build order for Stormtoss against Quark's build order here. He also can get that early expansion. Oh, but he needs to be careful. He cannot fly out the observer. Oh no, he's flying out the observer and he's not getting a second one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He needs to turn around this observer. He's not doing it. Oh, he's not realizing there's a DT. Oh my god, no observer, and he's not turning around. Oh, now he's getting it. But that's too late. The Reaver will just die. There's no point. He needs to turn around. Oh man. Ah, unfortunate for Stormtoss. Yeah. I mean, if you don't realize the DT is there in the fight and you don't turn around your observer, that's what can you lose the game. And Reaver dies, yeah. This was a very good attack for Quark, and with that I think the game is pretty much over. The observer is now here, but there are no more units, and he has to GG. Yeah, what can I say? If you go for an observer on one gateway and you fly it out without having a second observer in production, that is very risky. And you can see what's happening if you do that. If your opponent is going for that fast CT, you will pretty much lose the game. Especially if you don't turn around your observer immediately when you see the shimmer of the DT. Okay, and with that, Quark is ahead 1-0 in this best of 3. Yeah, unfortunate game for Stormtoss, but I mean it was greedy to send out that observer. And it's just a little greed, but that little greed can cost you the game. So he will probably not do that again in the next series. And that means we have the next game now between Quark and Stormtoss on Sylphid. So Sylphid is the map here. That is Stormtoss's pick, and maybe he has something prepared here on this map. Maybe like a 2-gate rush for the first time in this group, or maybe an aggressive goon rush. We will know any second. So let me yeah, do it like this and fix, of course, the scores here. Quark is ahead 1-0. Okay, so on the left side here on Sylphid, we have our British Pros up 1-0. It is Quark. And in the bottom right, fighting for his tournament life, only one game away from dying here, it is Stormtoss. And did you see that? Did you see that, chat? He thought the shimmer was an observer and not a DT. Okay, I can see that. But the moment that the DT is actually swiping your goons, then I don't let that explanation go through. Once your goon is taking 40 damage every 1.5 seconds or every second, if you still think it's an observer, not good. But of course, again, like this is a very stressful situation. You can really not blame any player here for doing little mistakes like that. But it definitely cost him the game in this case. Yeah, and Venom also confirming it here. If he turned around his observer immediately, I think he wins the game because he has the expansion up super early. He had the probe advantage. So, anyways, this is a new game. So let's see. He's again scouting very early here. We see. Stormtoss saying the better player is not winning often enough in PvP. Not sure if that was directed towards Quark winning that last game, but definitely interesting. Yeah, both players are pretty standard again, going for that gateway after core here for Quark. The same is true for Stormtoss. So, pretty similar builds, yeah, exactly the same builds, and also similar builds to the previous games. And we'll see what happens after the scout probe is killed or leaves the base again. This is Brothers trash talk. Yeah. Okay, so first goons are in production. And so far, oh, again, Quark, 200 gas, no range. You see this? Okay, now he's researching it. But this is super late. He has 100 gas on top of that. Like, I'm not sure. What's the point of that? Is he really just hoping that the probe leaves the base, or is he forgetting the range? I'm not sure, but that's super weird. This time getting the fast gateway. So he had the probe sitting here in position while the probe was still running away from Stormtoss. So Stormtoss might think that this probe wanted to place a building, and it could have been a citadel as well. But in this case, 2 more gateways are coming for Quark. And meanwhile, Stormtoss going for the 2 gate without anything else. Sitting on 300 gas here. This is a bit weird. Meanwhile, it looks like Quark probably lost the scouting probe to an egg or so. And I'm not sure. I didn't see that, sadly. Yeah, guess no proxy gates today. Not a single proxy gate in a 100% Protoss group. Like, I was really expecting something different when I went into this group here. Wow. Okay, so 2 gate into robotics is the build here for Stormtoss. Okay, so this can actually be fine because he added his 2nd gate rather early. So if he's careful and staying in his base in a good concave, he's definitely fine against the 3 gate. But if he runs out now, he can get caught off guard and actually lose the game. So he really needs to be defensive in his base, you know. He cannot go out. Or maybe he can poke out a bit, but he really needs to realize, okay, my opponent has way more goons compared to me, so I really have to go defensive. Oh, and he is going out. Okay. I'm getting a bit scared for him here. When those 2 more goons arrive, it's 6 against 4 here. Oh. He needs to turn. He needs to get back into his base quickly. By the way, 3 gateways for him as well, but the thing is, Quark did 3 gates before robotics. So Quark has the advantage here. Okay, so everything is fine. No player will kill anyone here. And now, yeah, Stormtoss is still contained in his base. And with no Reaver take, this is hard for Stormtoss. This is pretty hard. Yeah, there's also a good comment in the chat. I forget to mention that. When you go like such an early 3 gate that Quark did, before your what was it, like 3rd goon or so, and definitely before robotics, you actually cut probes, and we can see it here. Stormtoss is ahead by 4 probes, but he's contained, so I would definitely favor Quark in this position. There are 2 things you can do to get outside, or let's say 3. Okay, 3 main things that you can do to get to break out of your base. You can get the shuttle and try to like elevator your units outside on a different spot here around your base. That's one option. Second option is you get Reavers and try to shoot at the goons here, so they move back a bit further, and then you just run out with your units and your Reaver. So just like the brute force Reaver style to break out. And the third option is getting speed lots. Okay. And we don't see that here, so it looks like it will be the Reaver option. We can see Quark placing some pylons around. This is what you should always do if you can contain your opponent. Place pylons around your main base of your opponent. Let the unit patrol, place some probes there. Just make sure that your opponent will not elevator out his units by with a shuttle. And yeah, Quark is doing that very nicely. He's taking it at expansion. By the way, I want to stress, just because you contain your opponent here, that doesn't mean you're like light years ahead. This is not the case. You still have to make units. If you spend the 400 for Nexus, you really need to make units. Otherwise, Stormtoss will break out and crush him here. If you actually go for that base, it's actually totally fine to not make additional probes from it. If you make a Nexus and you make probes non-stop from both Nexi and you take up, then you can just throw away the game by not having enough units. Because what can your opponent do? Think about that. Your opponent can only make mass units and try to break out. That's the only thing that your opponent can do in this case. So you really cannot skip on making units as a containing player. So always remember that if you're in such a situation. But I think Quark is doing it very nicely here. So he's not really making too much probes. He actually added 2 more gateways. Or wait, 1 more gateway. And he's still making units out of the existing gateways all the time. So I think Quark is playing this super nicely here. And it will be super hard for Stormtoss to break out of the game. So what is the plan here? I don't see Zealot speed researching. I see some DTs. Where is the observer? Oh, okay, we have no observer yet. Oh, that's very great. So Stormtoss is actually seeing that Quark did not have an observer yet. So he just sees the first observer pops out. And now he can actually break out with DTs. This is perfect. Oh, this is great for Stormtoss. This can be a very nice breakout. I'm not sure if it was the right decision to even go out with the other units. No, so now he's losing his complete army. Yes, the DTs are doing damage, but the position and the unit count for Quark was still way better. The DTs were super nice, but moving out with the rest of the army... I don't think that was the right decision for Stormtoss here. And now the observer arrives, and I think with that, the game is pretty much over. There's 1 DT here. Where's an observer? Okay, observer comes. And I think with that, the game should be over. So, yeah, I mean, very unfortunate. Stormtoss had the nice idea to break out with the DTs, but you actually have to wait a bit until your opponent actually moves out of position or loses enough units to actually break out with the rest of your army. If you just move out the DTs and then move out your whole army, the DTs have not done enough damage by then. They didn't even swipe a single time, and you're already losing your army because the opponent is containing you in a better position. So yeah, kind of unfortunate decision here by Stormtoss, and that is the GG here. Okay, and with that, I would say, yeah, so Stormtoss is out of the tournament. He still did a great job reaching the round of 16. I heard like Protosses, especially Protosses, reaching the BSL 10 Gosuleague round of 16 are pretty good players in general. And we'll see Quark in the next game, in the deciding series against the loser of the winner series. It is NBA. So Quark against NBA, the rematch. We saw some insane games already between those 2 players, and they will battle it out for the deciding series to decide who advances to the round of 8 and who gets eliminated from the tournament. So let's take a look at that. So I am creating the game now. And the map will be Polypoid. Okay, so Polypoid is the start map for the deciding series here in this group. Let me adjust the overlay and then we'll jump into the game. Just a few seconds here. Okay. And we are ready. There we go. So, for anyone who has a déjà vu now, yes, we have seen the start of this game already. In the very beginning, because the replays were sadly not saved correctly. So we did see the first like minute of this game already in the beginning of the cast today. But that shouldn't matter. There were almost no viewers from you online back then anyways. And now we will take a look at this game. So before we jump into this game and look what's going on, there's a chat by Veer from Clan Revolution. Ray, are you alone? Yes, I'm alone right now because Snipe sadly had some internet issues and also had to leave a bit earlier this time. But we did cast the first 2 series together, but then he had to leave. So I'm doing the rest of the cast alone here. We have only 1 more series, so it should be fine. Okay, so now let's actually see what's going on here. They are chatting a lot. Okay, so in the bottom left corner we have our Quark here, going for that gateway into a simulator, as always. And in the top left we have our brothers from Chile. It is NBA, who lost. Actually, he did win. He did win against Quark in his previous series. So in the first series of the day, he did defeat Quark. So it's, yeah, NBA is ahead 2-1 against Quark for today. Yeah, and we'll see what they decide to do this time. A lot of chat here. Sorry, I have not read all the chat. Yeah, I cannot talk about it. Okay, more questions in the chat here. What is their group record for each of these guys? The group record... well, I can tell you Venom won the group 2-0. He advanced in first place, then Stormtoss just lost the loser game, so he drops out in last place 2-0, like 0-2. And now this is the decider between Quark and NBA, both being basically 1-1. Like one coming from the winner's match, one of them coming from the loser's match, and this is the deciding series. And what was map 1 of Quark versus Stormtoss, MasterReY? Whew, you're asking questions, man. Quark versus Stormtoss, you're saying? Let me see very quickly. Quark versus Stormtoss was Polypoid as well. So that was also Polypoid. I think, wasn't that the game where both of them went DTs? I think so. But now let's focus on the game. I think we have answered enough chat questions here. So NBA going for an early second gateway after his initial goons here. And meanwhile, robotics for Quark. This is an interesting position for the robotics. So usually if you go for a Reaver, you want to place the robotics closer to your opponent. So this robotics position alone leads me to think that he's going 3-gate ops or observer. So yeah, and he's exactly doing that. So 3-gate observer here for Quark, because if you went for Reavers, the Reaver pops out here at the bottom and then it has to go around the whole minerals or trying to go by these probes, and a Reaver will never do that. So you can't make Reavers out of this robotics. You have to wait for your shuttle to get them to the natural, basically. So this is a observer 3-gate goon build by Quark here, and we have the robotics for NBA as well. The link is not available because, I mean, there's the Wikipedia, of course. I can send you that link. So Wikipedia link is in the chat now, but that doesn't really help you a lot because I think it's not updated. Yeah, it's not updated for today, but that's the general information page for this group and for this tournament. Yeah, it will be updated later on. Yeah. Okay, so the 3-gate player Quark is moving out here. He should have more goons. Good position by NBA on the high ground, but 3 goons are not gonna cut it. This will be very bad. He needs to leave. Okay, he's doing that. Oh no, no, no. He needs to leave. He really needs to leave. He cannot fight this. If Quark realizes what's going on, that there are only 3 goons, he will jump on it immediately. See? Here. Bam. Immediately, as soon as he scouts the goon count, he jumps on it. So I'm not really getting why NBA even stayed there with only 3 goons. He has more goons here. And it looks like NBA is fine for now. He's still retreating, still getting shot a bit more. But I think he has enough goons now. I think he do has enough, but it's so risky to fight outside against a 3-gate player. Maybe he doesn't know that. But okay, picks off the observers. I think he's actually fine here for now. Quark still rallying more goons here. Has a probe in the natural. And NBA is also still making goons, but only from 2 gateways. So really, Quark should have more goons very soon here. And this Reaver is not out yet. So Quark could finish the game here if he runs in. And yes, he's doing it. He is fighting. Is he winning this fight? Of course, good position for NBA. But Quark, I think, with like 1 more goon in the beginning of the fight, is barely winning this fight, maybe. But it's super close. Where is the Reaver? Reaver is spawning right now. I think, yeah, NBA is totally fine here. So the good position by NBA really saved the game here for him against this aggressive 3-gate. But by the way, this is an observer 3-gate. Observer into 3-gate. This is not the 3-gate we saw from Quark earlier, where he also cut a lot of probes to get a super early 3-gate. This is like a normal, non-all-in 3-gate with continuous probe production. As you can see, the probe count is pretty similar. And that means you can just go for a normal game here. He can take an expansion, he can still do everything he wants here. Of course, he's now containing NBA. I'm not sure how successful that will be once the shuttle is out, because I think NBA still has a very good goon count, because he went for that 2-gate very early. Yeah, and Quark is realizing that, and he's going back. So yeah, it looks like both players know what's going on here. Both players are doing the right decisions here. And yeah, it's interesting. So we can see Quark going for an expansion here. So Quark will be slightly ahead in the economy. Probe count is even right now. So when this Nexus is done, he will be ahead in economy. But I think there will be an attack before that. So I think NBA, with the shuttle finishing here and the 2 Reavers, I think he can go for an attack. And Quark has no Reaver himself, so this could be dangerous. Of course, he can abuse his high ground, and he should really do that. But if NBA can maybe outposition him, that could be a strong attack. Oh, NBA is going up the ramp. I'm not sure if that's the right decision. It is definitely not. He needs to drop out the Reavers beforehand and try to shoot the goons from like a lot of range, or he needs to outposition Quark by running around like he's doing now. Of course, that's dangerous. For example, we see NBA has actually no observer here, but Quark does have an observer. Quark could just run into his main here. Okay, but he waited. NBA waited a bit longer for another Reaver to pop out, so maybe he can actually hold his high ground even if Quark tries to counterattack. But what is NBA doing? It looks like he's waiting for Quark to come out, and oh, he's doing that. Here we go. This is the fight. Oh, the shuttle. Oh my god, he loses the shuttle and both Reavers instantly. Oh, that's really unfortunate for NBA. He still can hold it, but I think he could really crush that fight and maybe even counterattack and win the game. Oh man, he had 2 Reavers in that shuttle. He lost one Reaver inside of the shuttle when the shuttle was being killed, and then he lost the Reaver that dropped out immediately as well. So I mean, he saw what's going on. The fight was already happening against the other half of his army, but then he still flew in the shuttle way too deep. So that was kind of unfortunate for NBA here. That could really be a lot different game if he crushed that fight. Okay. And yeah, I mean, Quark had the earlier expansion, didn't really make a lot of probes, maybe because he was also a bit scared and wanted to get out some more units. He added a lot of gateways. So after all, this Nexus is done for NBA and the probe count is pretty much even. So it's so funny how these two players are really starting out very differently, but they almost always find a way to be exactly in the same position after the early game. It's like, it's crazy. We are 11 minutes into the game and the worker count, the supply, the base numbers, everything is the same basically. It's so funny. Okay, what is the further tech here for Quark? We have Citadel, and it looks like he's in position to drop down that Templar Archive. Not really, because he has no gas. Maybe a forge soon. What is this? Okay, pylon. Okay, well, he's getting the zealot speed. That's important here. Meanwhile, oh wow, NBA is still on 3 gates. 3 against 6. Oh, but NBA is out-positioning Quark here, getting on this high ground. Oh my god. But Quark has so many more units. Oh, will we see a base trade? No, right? Quark has so many more units, he can just crush this, I think. What's the shuttle? What is the shuttle doing? No! Oh no! It's way too far in the open. But the Reavers are not getting focused. Okay, now they are. Yeah, and you can really see Quark just has more units. It was not the cleanest fight for Quark. He could have focused the Reavers out a bit earlier. But overall, you can just see he's on a 6-gate production against a 3-gate production. Of course, he has way more units. And now he's in a big advantage, I would say. We have more Reavers for NBA, but still only 4 gateways. And okay, there's the speed now, researching. Maybe if he can finish that. But we can see Quark winning that nice fight very convincingly. He is taking a 3rd base here. So, is taking a 3rd base, meanwhile getting the Templar Archive finally. No Templar Archive here for NBA yet. NBA finally adding some more gateways. Is almost on 6 gates as well. Yeah, Quark also still on 6 gates. So, yeah, with that fight, I think Quark gets the lead here. I definitely have to give the game slightly towards Quark here, because he could secure this 3rd base because of that great fight. But the difference is really not that big. The worker count is slightly in NBA's favor even. The supply is pretty much the same. The supply difference is the probe difference. So the army are exactly the same here. Speed is also done, so speed is done for both players. NBA also getting the Templar Archive. So this game is pretty even. Also getting the 3rd base here. The game is super even. So let's take a look at the only thing that really was one of NBA's biggest weakness here. Okay, hold that thought. We have a fight. Oh, fighting from low ground. I don't really like that for NBA here. Why is he fighting from low ground? Okay, but Quark actually runs away. That's crazy. Did not expect him to run away there. Okay, probably because of the mass speed lots here. Didn't really have a lot of his own speed lots. He researched Zealot speed very early, but he didn't really get a lot of Zealots at all. So, what I want to say here, the biggest weakness of NBA so far was the upgrades. Was the upgrading. Where the upgrades. So we have the +1 completed for Quark. Still 1 forge. I don't see another forge, but hold that thought, we have a fight. And Quark, yeah, losing some units for free, but I think this is still fine. Oh, DT, no observer. I don't see an observer here. Oh, the Reaver is getting focused. Oh my god, and NBA doesn't realize. NBA does not realize this Reaver was getting focused. And now he gets crushed again. Oh man. Wow. That was a super nice fight for Quark. You can really see observers play a big role in this matchup. Like in so many different situations. Oh, 2 DTs are getting intercepted. Okay, one gets through, but there's a cannon, so I don't think that will matter too much here. And I think with that, Quark is in a very good position to win this game. Yeah, and he's going straight up this ramp, and with that... Yeah, DTs are blocking the ramp. This is perfect. Quark got this. Yeah, Quark got this game. GG. Quark ahead 1-0 in this deciding series. So remember, NBA won the first best of 3 between these two players, 2-1. But now Quark is ahead 1-0. So only one game away from advancing to the round of 8. And now NBA has to win 2 games in a row to not get eliminated here and advance to the round of 8. Okay. So I'm creating the last or second last game here. We'll see. The map will be Eclipse. So Eclipse is again NBA's choice. He chose that map against Venom as well. And also against... I'm not sure. Did he choose it against Quark? I think so. No, never mind. He did not. But he did choose Eclipse against Venom. So looks like he likes this map, but so far he was not really successful on it. He lost against Quark and he lost against Venom on this map. Okay, we are ready to jump into this game. So let's do it. Okay, in the top right we have our Protoss fighting for his life, NBA. And in the bottom left of Eclipse, only one game away from advancing to the round of 8, it is Quark. And again we see some chat in the game, so really every game so far, especially the games with Quark, always pretty chat heavy here. Pretty funny. I lost 2 shuttles and 2 Reaver. Very easily. Yeah, that is true. So the fights were really won by Quark very easily, yeah. Okay, but now this is a new game, so let's see what is happening. Again, we see no 2 gates so far. Yeah, here's the gas. Actually, where's the gas for Quark? Wait, what is he doing? Is he chatting too much? What is he doing? What is Quark doing? Like, what is going on? Okay, did he forget the gas? I'm not sure what's going on here. It looked like he wanted to place a cybernetics core with 200s, but he didn't have a gas now. I know that can happen if you chat a lot. You miss one building and you still play the rest of your build like normally, but then you realize, oh shit, I forgot my gas. Yeah, I really think he forgot the gas here. I'm not quite sure. Interesting. Definitely interesting. So that means his range will be quite delayed. Meanwhile, we have NBA doing the normal build. He did get his gas. You can see the core is finishing with 160 gas. On the other side, core is finishing with 80 gas for Quark here. So Quark really is like 80 gas short of researching range here. And meanwhile, on this other side, we can see the range is starting for NBA. Yeah. Look, even the third pylon even coming before the range here. Actually, never mind. Is he actually going for DTs again? Oh, probe moves out of the way. That's the Citadel. Where's the Citadel? No range, still no range. 200 gas, no range. What is going on? What is Quark taking to? Okay, robotics. Okay, we see the robotics here for Quark. What is NBA doing? NBA, his range is halfway done. Again, no range for Quark. I'm not sure if he forgot about it or that's his plan. Like, this looks pretty weird. The only way you would get the robotics before range, I think, is if you go for a fast shuttle speed. Oh no, is he going for observer 3 gates without range? Okay, he's getting range. Okay. I'm not sure if that was an intentional build or he did some mistakes, but this looked pretty weird. But anyways, let's see how this matches up. So 3 gate or observer 3 gate, so not an all-in 3 gate, but a safe 3 gate, a bit later 3 gate with an observer against the 1 gateway robotics. I actually have to say I do like this build for NBA. With 1 gateway robotics, you can easily hold the 3 gate observer. You can really easily hold it, and you can take a faster expansion usually. If you don't go out with your units too far and get overwhelmed by the masses of goons from your opponent, you're fine. You're fine. If you just stay in your natural or maybe even high ground, wait for your Reaver and then expand, you're actually totally fine for NBA here, for the 1 gate player. But maybe he will go out. Let's see. He is actually in the natural. This can be dangerous. You can see the production has started for Quark. 3 gates are producing here. Observers are out. Okay, Probe sneaks out for NBA. He wants to get some scouting information. That could be successful. Quark looks like he's readying all the units to this place, so maybe there are no units in the natural in the moment that NBA goes into it here. Oh no, is NBA... NBA, is he going for Nexus before Reaver? He needs to make the Reaver. Okay, whew. There is a greedy build where you can get an like Nexus before Reaver if you scout your opponent, but that would be the death here. Okay, let's see. So the probe was killed here. I don't think it saw any gateways. How much? Oh, we have 5 goons. 6 goons here against 6 goons. But Quark with 3 more zealots. Okay, and NBA is playing it safe, is giving up his natural here. Waiting for that Reaver. So, will Quark contain him here or will he just leave again? That is the big question. Second gateway for NBA. Okay, oh wow, he gives up the position. So we saw Quark doing a nice contain against Storm Toss earlier and it really worked super well. But in this case, he's just giving it up for some reason. I'm not sure why. But he lets NBA outside and he lets him take the natural here. And now he's also taking his own expansion. So expansions are pretty much the same, almost. Quark was like slightly ahead here. And so far we see Quark just making a lot of observers here. So we'll probably see the 6 gate goon again for Quark here once the Nexus is complete. Or just slightly before the Nexus is complete, he will probably place down 3 more gateways and make mass goons. And on the other part of the map, we have a triple Reaver, a 3rd Reaver before the shuttle. That's also interesting. So this usually signals that you want to stay defensive, of course. You don't want to be aggressive. You don't want to be outside, moving outside. So I think this is fine for Quark. I think for a pure goon player, you are totally fine with the push from your opponent coming later, because there are some really tight 2-gate Reaver shuttle builds that can kill you very easily if you are on pure goons without the Reaver. But if you have some more time, if you can have your expansion mining for some time, if you can add 3 more gateways, then you're really in a fine position as the goon only player. And so far we still have no shuttle by NBAs. Nothing building in the robotics, so I'm not sure what this plan is here. Now getting an observer, probably seeing this observer by Quark scouting him. Yeah, and this game is pretty passive here. Worker count slightly in favor of Quark. We have some chat here. NBAs is so much better. I'm not sure when you said that. 3 minutes ago. Yeah, okay. That was probably before the contain happened. Or before the fight happened in the natural. Yeah, I said it as well. I think the 1 gateway Reaver is better if you don't go out with your units before your Reaver's done and you lose like some units. But right now, since that was the case and since he had to cancel his Nexus, I think I would say Quark is slightly ahead here. What is going on? He tries to get this observer, but he can't reach it. So what is the tech? What is the gateway count? Okay, only now the 4th gateway. I'm not sure. I don't really like this for Quark. Quark is teching up before getting additional gateways. Remember, he did basically join this game with 3 gateways. He made them pretty early, and that was a few minutes ago. He built these 3 gateways a few minutes ago, and he now added 1 additional gateways like in the last 5 minutes or so. So I'm not sure if he has the units he needs to defend this incoming attack by NBA. Zealot speed is also done for NBA, so this attack is pretty strong. He has 2 Reavers and he is moving across the map. I think definitely Quark has more units, but it will depend on the Reaver micro here again. Still no Zealot speed for Quark, and also only 4 gateways for Quark. So this can do some damage, but NBA really needs good Reaver micro. If he loses the shuttle and the Reavers in the start of the fight, he will lose that fight, and with that probably the game. So this is really important here. Okay, here we are. Is he doing it? Is he committing? This could be the deciding fight of the whole group now. This could decide who advances in the round of 8 and who drops out of the tournament. NBA is hesitating. He is probably not sure what he wants to do. Oh, he is actually leaving with 1 Reaver. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I think that means Quark can just push up here, right? And kill the other Reaver. Like, he's literally letting his other Reaver completely alone here at the ramp just to kill a pylon. Wow. Okay, that is risky. But yeah. No, you forgot the Reaver. No, NBA, you forgot the Reaver. Okay. Oh, he realizes. Okay. Yeah, so in the end he didn't want to go for that attack, and now the game is just transitioning to the late game. We see both players researching Storm now, or maybe I think Quark already has it. So what is the plan here? Oh, and also what are the upgrades? So first of all, 3rd base coming up for Quark. So again, Quark slightly ahead in the economy department. NBA has to turn around. NBA has to turn around. He cannot fight this against Storms. From the low ground against Storms, this is it. This is probably it. Archon Warp, and that's it. Oh man, this was a bad fight for NBA. Okay, he still has a Reaver and now he's on a high ground. He can survive here, but this was not the best fight, really. Okay, but it was still, he's still not dying. He's still okay. Okay, so let's see what the upgrades are saying again. Again, NBA not upgrading despite having a lot of minerals and gas. Really, upgrades are the weakness of NBA. Every single game he's not upgrading. It's unfortunate, man. Meanwhile, Quark already halfway done. And what do we have here now? Where's the storm? Okay, storm is coming. Was a very nice storm. Another storm is not quite ready. Where's the... Wait, where are the rest of the units? Some units are fighting here. Oh, Quark just has so much more. And the Templar. Oh my god, almost dies here. He needs the storm. He could lose the game here. He's still on 6 gateways. Oh, nice drop. Sorry, I did not catch that. I tried to see the kill count, but you can see the worker count is still fine for Quark. So it's not like he killed 20 probes here, but I think it was still a fine drop. Let's see if I can spot the kill count. Oh, 15 kills. Oh my god. Okay. But how is he killing? He killed like 20 probes total. 20 probes. But he's only had 4. 3 now. The third base of Quark really is helping him so much. Third Nexus by NBA is going up now. So slightly later here. Quark had a pretty good position here, I think, denying the third base, but he gave it up. I see not a single zealot in this army. So I think he really needs to produce zealots. Okay, zealots are coming. What are the upgrades? Okay, 1-0 upgrades. Second upgrade is already starting here. Second forge as well. Do we have an upgrade for NBA? Oh my god, NBA just started his very first upgrade 15 minutes into the game. Ah, man. This could really cost him the game. 2 Reavers. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is it. This is it. NBA needs the best storms in the world now. Okay, pretty good storms, I have to say. But I don't think it's enough. No, this is not enough. Yeah, I think with that, the game should be over. He can just kill the natural or he can deny the third. He can choose. And there's the GG. Okay. Ah, man. There's one unfortunate fight in the middle of the map here on these bridges. He took a very bad fight. And then he also took another bad fight here, like his units being here and a nice concave by Quark here, like denying his third base, and now he lost the 2 shuttles in a Reaver. 2 shuttles in a Reaver. Yeah, one too many mistake here for NBA, and also his upgrades were not looking too good going into the late game, so I think Quark did play a good game and he advances to the round of 8. Congratulations to Quark. And NBA is sadly out of the tournament, but he did play a very good tournament. He actually did defeat Quark in the first series 2-1, so it was a very close group. It was super close. Venom did advance very convincingly, but the rest of the games I think were pretty close there, especially between Quark and NBA. So pretty good group in my opinion. Of course not if you're a Protoss hater, but apart from that, very nice group, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too bad that Snipe sadly disappeared in the middle of the cast, but he did co-cast here in the first 2 series, and yeah, sometimes you have other things that are more important, or you have technical problems as well. Can't change it. Okay, so let's wrap up the group here. If you're a Protoss hater, just watch ASL. No ASL spoilers here, please. Okay, so let's wrap up the group. So here we have our group. So the results will be updated a bit later on. We saw the Group A already. Group B was casted already. You can see me here. If you have not seen the game, find the VOD on Veer's channel. But we saw Group A here, and in general we saw Venom defeating Stormtoss here to get into the winners match. Meanwhile, NBA defeating Quark to get into the winners match. Venom defeating NBA in the winners match here, advancing in the first place. Quark getting out of the losers match against Stormtoss. And the deciding match, we just saw Quark defeating NBA 2-0. So that was the group here. And with that, we are at the end of our cast. So now is your chance. If you have any last comments, any last feedback, questions, whatever, put them in the chat. And then I can take a look at it and reply it. If not, we are stopping the stream for today. I want to announce some of the future casts as well. Give me a short moment here to open it up for you. 1 second. Okay, so the next cast will be on Tuesday. Okay, so next Tuesday we will see the next cast. Tuesday on Aggie's channel. Okay, I will put the link in the chat. Let me do that here. Tuesday. Okay, so it's in the chat now. On Tuesday you can see BSL Gosuleague with Group C on Aggie's channel. And as always on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. you can find another group, another cast here on this channel that you're on right now. On my channel here with Group D from the round of 16. So definitely tune in for that. Definitely leave a follow or maybe even a subscription if you want to support me, or if you just want to see more BSL Gosuleague action. And then we'll announce the rest of the casts going into the quarterfinal and semifinals and so on in those future casts. It will always be on Tuesday and Thursday. Those are the most important things. Just take a look at Team Liquid. You can see the streams usually on there, or just be in some random Discord, StarCraft related. There's always some channel where the information or the exact Twitch channel is getting spammed. But on Tuesday it's usually on my channel. On Thursday it's usually on my channel here every Thursday, and Tuesday is on Aggie's channel or on Revolution Veer on that channel. So one of those. Okay, we have a question here in the chat. Where is Snipe? Snipe sadly had to leave because he had another important thing to attend. He didn't tell me what it was, but yeah, he had to leave. He had something other to do. And he also had some pretty bad technical problems, disconnecting in basically every game. So yeah, so he was here in the beginning for the first 2 series, but then he had to leave. So that's what happened with Snipe. Of course, he will be here again casting with me together next Thursday for Group D. He got sniped by the competition. Okay. Yeah, I think no more questions in the chat. And yeah, with that, we are at the end. So thanks again for watching, guys. Be sure to leave a follow. And yeah, if you want to support me, leave a subscription, or also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find it by entering !YouTube in the chat. I will publish a lot more videos, also edited videos, not only like uploaded recordings from my stream, but also really edited videos on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see more StarCraft content, would be nice if you subscribe to that YouTube channel as well. And yeah, if not, I hope I see you again on Tuesday on Eggy's channel or on Thursday on this channel again for more Gosuleague action. And until then, have a good evening, afternoon, or wherever you are, and bye bye. Thanks for watching.